Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale, and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 17500, here to come in 175.2. I ain't 200 down, count it, here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
Let us show you the strength that comes by making every moment count. We're here to help. Hospice of Lake Cumberland. Let us show you the strength that comes by making every moment count. We're here to help. Hospice of Lake
Best
Cumberland.
things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag. Back and better than ever. Just $5.99. Mix and match any two full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Any two plus fries and a drink, all just $5.99. Hardee's Original Bag. Loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck.
You are looking at Pulaski County Field, where tonight Lake Cumberland Sports is pleased to bring you a district battle between the North Laurel Jaguars and your homestanding Pulaski County Maroons. Toyota of Somerset sponsors us. Our presenting sponsor, Ford Brothers Auctioneers, and all of our sponsors. This is your Buffalo Wings and Rings video game of the week here on Lake Cumberland Sports. Glad you could join us. Pulaski County enters this one at 3-3, coming in off a heartbreak loss last week. And the second time this year that this football team has given up a scoring touchdown inside the final 10 seconds. Lost to a good Madison Central team. North Laurel lost to crosstown rivals South Laurel last week in what would have to be considered an upset. I don't know any other way to describe it.
Exactly.
They roll in here tonight 0-2 in the district, facing the chances of the team that was favored to win this district preseason being 0-3 with one to go. Now, he's Chris Staten. He's trying to find something. Did you find him?
I did.
All right, he's looking for his glasses.
Oh, yeah, that was going to be bad.
Chris Staten joins me. I'm Mike Kerr. We're so glad you joined us tonight. If this is not, the third or fourth week in a row we've looked out and said, wow, what a beautiful night for
You can't
football.
get any better, and we've said that for 4 straight weeks.
Game, we prayed for something less than,
and it never happened.
Turned out great. But this is, if you're out and about and you want to see a good high school football game, you've got about 28, 30 minutes, something like that, to get here. If you're not, sit back, relax. We'll bring you all the coverage here on Lake Cumberland Sports. Chris, you got two teams that might be at crossroads of their season. Pulaski, with the win, gets 2-0 in the district with Harlan County to come next week here. North is in a situation, they've lost 2 district games, and if they lose this one, they've only got 1 left.
Right.
And the way the tiebreaker works, the best they could hope for might be a 4 seed in this district. That's all futuristic, but this team is going through some lumps, and I know that under first-year coach Stephen Nelson, these are times that teams either stand up or punt.
Yeah, this, for Coach Nelson's club, this is one of those must-win games if they have any illusions of getting a a 2 or 3 seed. It's going to be tough to get the 1 seed, but things do happen. But coming in 0-2 in district play in this game, and coming in as a underdog in this game at Pulaski High School tonight, it's definitely going to be a challenge. And I was looking back at the records today, and I didn't realize the dominance that Pulaski County has had over this North Laurel team on some years that they thought and did that they have some pretty good teams.
Actually beat them a couple times a year there for a while when they had some pretty good football teams.
And so they're 11-1 against North Laurel over the last 11 games. Lost last year 28-14 over at their place, and you and I were talking a little bit about the game. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I don't know if I blocked it from my mind or not, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because you've got 2 new first-year head coaches. You've got a lot of players that don't remember anything past last year.
Yes.
And so the past records really don't matter. What does matter is PC is going for a 2-0 district start, and North Laurel is trying to stop going 0-3.
Yeah, 0-3 is almost a guarantee you're going to be in the 4th spot. If you get in, you still got to get in. And this team preseason, after the win over Bell County and the win over Whitley County, they were 2-0. And if you looked at the rankings, both KHSAA and others, they were up in the top 5 or 6 of 5A football.
Exactly.
Now they find themselves at 2-4, and they're really in a situation. You don't ever say this is a must-win, but this is a must-win for this program.
Earlier.
Well, I want to agree with you. Everybody, you're going to play 10 games at least, but we've heard all kinds of rumors about things that may have gone or may not have gone on over there this week. I have no interest in any of it. All I can say is they've probably got 30, 35 kids down here tonight off a team that's been dressing about 55 or 60.
Well, and the positive that Coach Nelson can bring to the table is they started off 2-0, like you said, beat a Bell County team, a Whitley County team, and then they turn around and they go up to Franklin County, who's a really good team, and they give up 42 points. Then they go over to Johnson Central and give up 42 more and get shut out in that game. And that really started the slide because then they had Southwestern on the ropes. They had Southwestern on the ropes in that game and allowed Southwestern to dominate the second half, and they lost. And then South Laurel, we kind of got some updates. If I'm not mistaken, that was a tie ball game or a 10-7 ball game.
North was actually ahead early 4th quarter.
Right. And a long drive by South Laurel to score to tie it up.
To go ahead
10-7.
Yes.
And then 2 pick sixes.
Back-to-back plays.
Back-to-back. And so they go on to lose that one 24-7. So, PC is going to come out and they're going to run the football like they do and pass it when they need to. And so it could happen just like that.
We're going to step out for the coaches show here momentarily, and when we do, I'm going to use the coaches show tonight as our Whitest Cabinet's keys to the game because when Coach talks about football, he knows a whole lot more about it than I do. So we've got Coach Burns queued up, talked to him earlier today, and are we good?
We're going to do a commercial. Before we go to the coaches show, we come back, and that's where we're going to go.
All right, good. Thank you all.
All right.
Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 175-100, here to come in 175-2. I 200 down, down, got it here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
Let us show you the strength that comes by making every moment count. We're here to help. Hospice of Lake Cumberland. Let us show you the strength that comes by making every moment count. We're here to help. Hospice of Lake
Best
Cumberland.
things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag. Back and better than ever. Just $5.99. Mix and match any 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Any 2 plus fries and a drink, all just $5.99. Hardee's Original Bag. Loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Lake Cumberland Sports coverage of Pulaski County Maroon football. In just a few hours, Pulaski County will host North Laurel, division foe, game that means a lot. Coach Burns has joined us. Coach, one quick look at last week, another really good football game. Your team played really well, and as the dice roll came up on the short end one more time, but eventually some of those are going to roll your way. But I thought your team played pretty good football.
Yeah, they fought their hearts out. It was a very physical game. They did what we asked them to do. It just, like you said, the ball didn't bounce our way, I tell people we're 5 minutes away from being 5-1 or 6-0. So just kind of learning how to finish games, learning how to come down to the wire. That's the big thing that we've real focused on. We just got to find a way to, some people will say, get over the hump. We got to find a way to do that.
Well, you've got a quarterback who's thrown for a little over 1,100 yards so far. You've got a running back who's rushed for over 8 and got 270 or something in receiving yards. So he's over 1,000 yards. And Brock, your offense has been pretty good. And last week you found a gem. I thought Mounts coming out and kicking the field goal in a crucial situation gives you a weapon that I'm not sure you may have been comfortable using, but I'm pretty sure you are comfortable using now.
Yeah, in that stage of the game, we needed the points, and I looked at Mounts and I said, "Mounts, you gonna make this field goal?" He said, "Yes, sir."
I love it.
He went out and did it, and I have full faith in him. And every kicker has a range, and we know his range.
Sure.
And, so you'll see a lot more field goals coming down the wire with Mounts improving every week. And like I said, in that part of the game, we needed those points. So there was no doubt in my mind of doing that.
Sometimes 3 is a good number. It's better than 0.
Oh, yes. It changes the whole dynamic of the game.
It does. North comes in, a team that before the season, I saw some ratings but they're probably people who, like me, don't have a clue what they're talking about. But they showed North being the favorite in some of the stuff I read in this district. They're now looking at being 0-2 in the district, playing you all tonight, which if you prevail, that would make them 0-3 and put them in a position the best they can hope for is a 4 seed in this district. Their wheels haven't come off, but they've got to get it on the track tonight or their season's in dire straits.
Yeah, I think they're facing a little bit of turmoil right now, but the tape, when you watch the film, it tells a different story than what their record and stuff shows. They're a very good football team. They've got a lot of great pieces. Number 10 for them, Jude McCorder, he's really, really good. They're really big up front, really, really big. It's crazy to say, but they're probably bigger than we are up front.
That's amazing.
And that is amazing. And so, they got a lot of great pieces. They're just, going through hard times. And I think as coaches and as programs, we've all been there at some point. And they're going to be really motivated to bounce back after a tough loss against South Laurel. And, we got to be ready to come out and play.
Yeah, they beat a Bell County team week 1. They beat a Whitley County team week 2. Played a good Franklin County team into the fourth quarter before the score doesn't indicate how good a football game that was. They gave Johnson Central not much, but Johnson Central's a pretty good football team, let's be honest. And they play the style that North would struggle with. Yeah, they're big and strong up front. And then the one to South Laurel is just a puzzler. They threw a couple interceptions late in that game, and credit to South Laurel. They found a way to win. But I think North was looking at, okay, we'll right the ship last Friday night. That didn't happen. Now they know they have to right the ship this Friday night. I think you'll get a desperate, hungry football team coming in trying to beat you on your home turf.
Yeah, I mean, any team that, is almost, you say backed into a corner, like they have to win. They have to win now. They've been competitive in a majority of their games. Like you said, Johnson Central's a very good football team, and the Franklin County score doesn't reflect the actual game itself. And they're going to be very motivated to come in, But we're motivated too. We have our goals and aspirations, and I tell our kids, and I think our kids have done a good job. We have to change our mindset of, we play this team. No, they have to play us. They have to play the Pulaski County Maroons, and that's what our kids have done this week. They've taken that mindset.
You've had a good week, I assume, because of school being out. You could get in a little more instruction time, maybe. But how about the injury side of things? Are you in pretty good shape?
Yeah, we're in pretty good shape. I think you'll see a familiar face back this week in Boone Godby.
That'll be a help.
He'll rotate in some in offense, and for the most part we are healthy, and I take that our strength and conditioning in our off season, that's really what has kind of kept it that way. Now, knock on wood, you can't prevent all injuries, but you have to have that weight room mentality to make sure that you're fresh and ready to go.
You've been scoring a pretty good clip during this season. I look at North scores, and they've averaged 7 points a game in their last 4 games. That's a number they have to add to tonight. They can't come in here and expect to score one score and win a football game against Pulaski County. But I think your offense is, I've seen every snap this year. I love it. I love the balance. When you break huddle and then the game ends and I look at it and the rush yards and the pass yards and the play calls, they're almost exactly the same. To prepare for this football team, I don't think you can prepare and say, I'm going to hold Pulaski to less than 7 points and get a 7-point win over there.
Yeah, Coach Roberts and the offensive staff, they do an amazing job. They come in and they're really creative, and they understand that we have to have great balance. But we want to run the football first, and then off of that, establishing the run, we're going to have play action, and we're going to have different things. And we kind of have a mentality here, like we think players, not plays. And Coach Roberts, like I said, I couldn't speak enough. Coach Roberts and Coach Denny and Coach Meese and all the offensive staff, they do an amazing job. Coach Ruckel, they do an amazing job of preparing our kids on offense and having that balance. You might see an empty set, and then the very next,
I know, I love it.
You're going to see a power
I see a power set, and then I see a 5 set, and I'm going, okay, I'm trying to defend this, right? I've got high school kids that I've sent out there in a defensive scheme, and all of a sudden, total flop of it.
And the beauty of what they have done and what we have done as a staff is like nothing. You're not having to coach anything like an outlier, because it's all built in together. You have your rules, and you have your tags. So we might have a blocking scheme, but then we add a tag to it. So for example, one of our is gut. That's a run play. But then we, if we say gut kick or gut blast, that changes the whole blocking scheme. But to the kids, to the linemen, it's just gut.
Yes.
So that's the beauty of it. And they've done a phenomenal job of creating that balance.
So Coach Burns is talking some football for you folks. When you don't complain that you don't learn anything on our pregame show. Coach, the game is not several hours ahead of us right now. What do you got to do to come out ahead tonight, go 2-0 in the district, and put yourself in prime shape for another home district game next week?
It's the same that I tell our kids, and I'll tell you, like, we have these 5 things that we talk about every week that if we do in the game, we're going to win the game. And the first one is to be the most physical team. 95% of the time, the most physical team wins. That's, people like talent, and they talk about talent and athleticism, and those are great things, but the game of football is a physical game. So the team that is most physical, the team that is most fundamentally sound, technique-oriented, discipline, that takes pride in their craft and do that. We say it's about the ball. So if you commit turnovers or, you take the ball away, like whoever takes care of the football the best will win the game. The team that is the best team, meaning that you love your teammate more than the other person, the other team, you're going to sacrifice. And we always talk about, we went to Jabez, that's where we went to team camp. It's kind of like the Junction Boys thing.
Yeah.
And our kids take pride in that because, it wasn't easy and it wasn't, something, and it was tough, but they take pride that they went to Jabez. And then we say, don't flinch, in the game, early, good or ugly, whatever, just keep playing. Their teams are good. They're going to make plays. We're going to make plays, right? And we just say, don't flinch. Just keep playing to the last minute, the last second, until that horn blows. Don't give in. Keep fighting. And I think our kids have shown that. I think back to the GRC game when we threw the pick six and then we fumbled the ball, right? Back-to-back series, in the past our kids might have quit, but they didn't. They kept fighting, and then we eventually won the game.
Yes.
And that's kind of that mentality, that don't flinch mentality. Just keep fighting.
They kind of reflect their coach. I just added that for free. All right, we're going to wish you the best. We're going to see you in a few hours. We'll try to do a post-game interview after you're 2-0 in the district and getting ready for Harlan County next week. But tonight, you got to take care of North Laurel. They roll into the stadium, and good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
He's Coach Burns. I'm Mike. We'll be back right after this here on Lake Cumberland Sports.
That we teach our kids about financials, about budgeting, about savings. We offer an e-student checking account and a GPA savings account. I immediately opened up both for my daughter. She has a debit card, which I am able to turn on and off with our mobile app because I'm also on the account. She has become more mindful of her spending, which is something that we want to teach her, is to be a mindful spender and to save as much as she can.
It's a great time to get your new F-150 at Alton Blakely Ford. The Ford F-150 redefines working remotely. There's a desk inside the cab, a tailgate work surface out back, and available Pro Power onboard to plug in what you need. Tough This Smart can only be called F-150. And right now, get a no-charge leather package upgrade on every purchase of an F-150 XLT at Alton Blakely Ford.
Out here in the real world, we've spent too much time waiting around and wondering if we'll ever get to be what we really want to be. Now it's time to move forward, and with a little help from Somerset Community College, you can finish that degree or start a whole new life as an IT VIP, a healthcare hero, and more, in less time and for less money than you think. The time is now. The place is here. Never underestimate you.
brief intermission while.
Now let's try that again.
And
Mike.
welcome back to PC Field, where we've listened to Coach Burns' coach's show, and I'm going to let that be my Whitest Cabinets keys to the game tonight. Need new cabinets? The key is Whitest Cabinets. We value your business, offering friendly service and reliable products. Let us design experts turn your vision into reality. Visit us today at South 27 at Slate Branch Road, Whitest Cabinets. The keys to your dream homes. And partner, checked with Coach, and he mentioned in the coach's show, they're ready to go. They're not only no new injuries to report, they're going to get Boone Godby back in as a receiver, and he said he may not start, but we'll see him on the field tonight. So
that's good news.
That is our injury report from Dr. Jesse Pace and Dr. Patrick Jenkins of Lake Cumberland Orthopedics. Sports medicine for athletes of all levels, from the weekend warrior to the professional. At Lake Cumberland Orthopedics, our goal is to get each patient back to the highest level of physical therapy possible. We're proud to support the local athletics by serving our teams. Physicians for Lindsey Wilson, Southwestern, Somerset, Pulaski, and Wayne County High Schools, and other athletes throughout the Lake Cumberland region. And partner, we are just moments away from getting this one started. Let's say 4 minutes and change. And we were told that there was a shortage of players tonight for South Laurel or North Laurel. We don't know the answer, but they did. I tried to count them pretty quickly. There's only about 35 kids in uniform down here tonight, or young men.
Which is a vast difference from the roster.
Yeah, their roster's 60 plus, so we don't know the issue. All we know is the captains are getting ready to make it to midfield, except Pulaski doesn't have any captains out here.
Call your meals for North Laurel, and you also have
Can you read those numerals?
Well, I can, and here's already the problem that I've got. I've got a 58 on my roster that is Nathan Couch.
Yeah.
I have a number 1 that's Call Your Meals, and the young man standing in the middle of the bunch over there is number 40. I do not have a 40 on my roster. Do you have a 40?
I'm going to see what I've got then, but this could be a real issue tonight because players wearing numbers in honor of other players, and you know where I'm coming from.
Right.
Let's see what I can find. Spin the dial, spin the wheel, make a deal. I do not.
Do not have a number 40.
I do not.
Okay, so they have 3 captains, but we can only give you 2 of them. As the rest of the Jaguars make their way out of the locker room, Pulaski is yet to, but I think I see Maroon making their way across the track.
Coach is leading them out, and he's broke into a jog, so I don't know if we got a 7-man crew tonight.
First time this year.
A good crew, and Pat and I are on the hand signal tonight. We're in the friendly confines, but we have Pat and Matt with us, and Kevin, and
we got a full house.
We expect to bring you a for real good broadcast tonight. Coach Burns will jog them out. And here come the captains, and my partner will get their numbers. Tell you what, if you'll mute me, I'll go find out who 40 is.
I will mute you. So captains for the Maroons tonight will be Gunnar Lovelace, Bryston Brown, Connor Cohen Finley, and Zach Anderson, as they both teams are making their way to midfield. As Mike alluded to, we're under a minute or under a minute and a half. 45. Hey, it's not 40, it's 45. So across the screen, we do have a 45 on the roster, and that's William Walton. So good eye by my cameraman here. And so here's the breaking news, Mike. That's not number 40. That's 45.
Very good.
Kevin was down there.
Kevin was in there trying to find out. So was Brian. We are, just like you said, just moments away from getting this thing started. And this atmosphere tonight, I don't want to say it's flat, but it is. There's no other way to describe it. And usually when these two teams get together, especially with something on the line. And each of these teams playing for something tonight. So North Laurel playing for their survival.
Exactly.
And Pulaski's playing to be 2-0, getting into the Harlan County game next week here at PC Field. And it just seems to have I don't know, maybe it'll crank up here in a minute as we head toward game time. Last week I failed to watch the toss of the coin. This week I see the toss of the coin. I think Pulaski won the toss. I think North Laurel got to pick the direction they're going to go, and Pulaski's probably going to take the football.
Yeah.
Here's my guess.
Mr. Rogers is going to give you the call, and they did win the toss and will receive, and they'll be defending the south end zone, and North Laurel will be kicking from the north end zone, left to right. And the horn has sounded. We've got a coin flip, and so we're going to bring you football action here in just a few minutes. So here's the thing that I'm looking for and want to see, Mike. And Kason Brock, if you can say that he was held in check somewhat last week, still had 100 yards, but did not have the type of game that we're accustomed to with him. Do they go to get him on track right off the bat early and often, or does Coach Burns come out and try to get the passing game going? It's going to be a running.
No.
He's going to get Kason Brock involved. Right. So
he's going to start out with the run game, and he's going to let North. These two teams over the year, North has been a big physical football team. They've brought big offensive linemen and big backs and run a multi-back set. And if you look at their numbers this year, they've got two backs with almost the identical number of carries and almost the identical number of yards. They're not a surprise, and Pulaski this year is not a surprise. They've come out every week. They've established the run. Once they do that, they'll spread the field a little bit and let you see a little play action, maybe occasionally some five right. But no, they're going to come out and run the football.
Well, here's a stat and a number that I want to throw out there.
All right.
North Laurel is allowing 223 yards a game on the ground, average.
Yes.
If that is any indication of how this game goes, Kason Brock may have another 6-touchdown night and 200 yards.
If Pulaski doesn't get 220 yards rushing in this game, I'll be surprised.
Okay.
Again, you've got. I talked to one of the senior leaders on this football team at a volleyball game that we did on Lake Cumberland Sports earlier in the week. And Ethan Idlewine, I just looked at him and I said, "Man, you all ready for Friday?" He said, "You don't know how ready." So I don't think this bunch is going to come in flat because their team leader pretty much said they were ready to go.
Took that personal last week.
He put his stamp on it.
Right. So we do know that the kicker for North Laurel is going to be Cam Anderson. He's out there. We've got him, Braxton Fultz, Bryson Nance, Tanner Hutchins, some younger players. But Winston Ford is back deep from his 5-yard line, and we're underway. He'll run up and take it at his 11. He's got a lot of space to run, makes a man miss at the 25, and finally gets spun down at about the 35-yard line, and that's where the Maroons will take over after a 24-yard return and put them in really good field position to start the game.
Excellent field position, and if you're not familiar with Pulaski Field, it's a turf field. Everything is ready to go, and the crowd on this side's pretty big. The crowd on the other side's about normal, I think.
So Anderson will come out, opening a shotgun formation. He's going to have Kason Brock off his left shoulder, hand it to Kason on the outside zone read, and he finally puts his foot in the ground and cuts up as the flag comes flying in on the first play of the game.
Yeah, that's a hold against Pulaski County, and that's 10 from the previous spot. 1st and 20 coming up, and I got a quiz for you. Pulaski's offense this year has been more efficient running the ball to the right or to the left?
I'm going to tell you to the left.
You are correct. So you and I are watching the same football game.
So 3 wide receivers come here to the near side. Anderson drops back to pass, finds Denmar on a quick screen. He's got all kinds of room. Gets a nice block there. The ball comes popping out, but falls forward, and it looks like Cohen Finley will be there to recover it. I'm not sure if it got out of bounds or not.
I'm going to give him 29 yards, and I'm not going to try to separate Finley's fumble recovery at the end of it.
So that will be a first down. And, again, that was just a screen play. And like we saw on the kickoff return, Mike, North Laurel, there was no pressure, had all kinds of space. And you give Denmeyer that kind of space, he's going to make something happen.
Got McWhorter playing with lone safety.
This is just a quick swing pass out to Brock in the right flat, and this time North Laurel does a good job of getting up there, holding contained, and getting Brock down for a loss of 2 on the play. So 1 run play and 2 screens.
Well, if you look at this defense, it's single high. They've got 1 safety, and they're playing man up out here. They've got 7 in the box right now.
Anderson will operate from the shotgun as quarterback keeper. We saw a lot of that last week, and he finds some space and gets across the 45 down to about the 43. So he's going to pick up 10, but needed 12. We'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Now that's another thing that a lot of defenses just don't scheme for the quarterback anymore.
Right.
And if a quarterback sees certain things, I'm sure that was a sight read by Anderson.
So that was something that was kind of added to the repertoire. We saw that a lot last week. So 3rd and 2, shotgun formation. Kaysen will take it off the right side, and he is into the secondary before he's ever touched. He's got 1 man to beat. 10-5, touchdown, Kaysen Brock from 43 yards. And 43 yards untouched, Mike.
Yeah, again, we saw that play go for 6 scores 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Against Madison Central, we saw it go for 6, 8, 10 yards every now and then, but not to the house. That time when he broke through the line of scrimmage, 1 man to beat, and it was no contest.
So a Citizens National Bank touchdown, 43-yard run by Kaysen Brock, mounts on to attempt the PAT. It is up and through, and at 10:21 on the Randall D. Serpent CPA scoreboard, Pulaski strikes quick and lead it 7-0.
Well, again, if you're North Laurel, the worst thing that could happen just happened, because Pulaski laid it on the ground over here for you once, but it managed to be recovered. But they took it in by my count, 4 plays. There was a penalty in the middle of that would have made a 5th snap, but 4 plays to the house.
3 runs, 3 runs, counting the penalty run, and 2 passes.
You counted the pass to Brock. I called it a pass. That little swing, you called that a run?
No, we had the penalty run.
Yes,
we had
that's right.
Brock run. We had the Anderson run, and then that touchdown run.
Deep will be McWhorter, I think. That's Jude McWhorter. He's the kind of do-everything guy on this football team.
Yeah, you're going to hear his name called a lot tonight, and this one's going to be short and out of bounds. So flag will come in. 2nd penalty on the Maroons very early in this game.
Yep, 2 for 15. That's about what they had at halftime last week, if you were with us. All right, so if you're North, you want good things to happen here. You possess the football for about 6 minutes. You drive it down the field and you get points. Because this offense is Pulaski's. You don't want to turn it back to them quickly.
And North Laurel's offense didn't get the memo that they got a free 15 after the Entrust Healthcare kickoff, and so they had to run an additional 15 yards just to get to the line of scrimmage. Jude McWhorter will line up and take the snaps, and he's going to hand off to Bryson Nance around the left side, and he is stonewalled there after a very short gain.
Give Nance a couple.
Going to give him 2 as he gets up across the 35 to the 37.
Glad you could join us tonight on the Buffalo Wings and Rings Video Game of the Week here on Lake Cumberland Sports, presented by Toyota of Somerset, sponsored by Ford Brothers Auctioneer.
So 3 receivers set in a bunch passes to the left. McWhorter looking that way, comes back to the middle, and will find his intended receiver, brought down by Lovelace. That's Carter Kelly. So a short gain. Well, they've backed it up to the. Now they're going to say it was incomplete, Mike.
Okay, I wonder what they were doing. Now I'll go with the incomplete.
Yeah, so ball must have hit the turf. Lovelace was there on the tight coverage and made the contact. So one thing I can say right off the bat, McWhorter he's the number one running back. He's taking the snaps tonight. Hunter Morgan, we don't see him. And there's a pass that's high up in the air that's complete to John Miner, and he's hit immediately on the play by Finley.
It's going to be 4th and 1.
4th and 1. Do you
Coach
roll the dice already?
I think.
He looks to be keeping the offense on the field.
Who was that on the catch?
That was
Miner.
That's what John Miner.
Yep.
Gain of about 7. So they are going to come out. And McWhorter's going to go under center. The right guard moved, no flag, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage, and he is not going to make it. That is Lovelace again on the tackle.
The back signaling he got it, but he never got to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, he had to get to the 45, and this side judge is short, so that will be a turnover on downs. That was Bryson Nance on the carry, and that was the other thing I was going to say, Mike. Nance has been their RB3 this year. Yep. So you got McWhorter, who's been their RB1 as their quarterback, and then Cooper Anderson has been their RB2, and neither one of those gentlemen are in the game.
Well, Pulaski's got it back in great field position.
Already in Jaguars territory. Anderson looks to Denmeyer again. A screen, high pass, but Denmeyer's able to get up and bring it down. He's going to take it across the 35 to about the 32. Gain of 13 on first down.
That's a Pulaski County first down.
So they are giving Anderson quick early reads, and they've seen something in the tape this week that the North Laurel defenders are playing off.
That's the same play they ran to this side.
Right.
They just ran it to the back side.
So they flip the receivers, 3 to this side now, hand it to Kaysen right up the middle, and he gets hit right to the line of scrimmage.
But
still digging his feet. He's going to pick up about 2 on the play. And where they set it down, they'll only give him 1. Ball at the 31-yard line.
Southwestern is on the road tonight at Franklin County. They've got a handful. Franklin County's a pretty good football team.
Yeah, they beat this They shut this North Laurel team out 42-0 earlier in the year.
Tell you a little something about that game in a minute.
Anderson from the shotgun. He looks right, now rolls left, still looking, finds Brock at about the 30. He turns upfield, makes a man miss, gets down to the 25. Will be short of the yards to gain, but will pick up 4 on second down and should set up 3rd and 3, which is probably 4-down territory.
Without a doubt. Although Mounts, I saw warming up tonight what making a field goal live does for your confidence.
Right.
Standing at the 30-yard line, which are the 20-yard line down there, which would be a 30-yard attempt, was nailing them like eating M&Ms, Pat. You ate all of them, didn't you? You didn't share them.
They would need about 7 more yards, but that would be a first down. And Idlewild comes in motion, and we're going to get false start.
That's 3 penalties.
And that's out of the 4 that they've got, that's the biggest one, because you go from 3rd and 3 now to 3rd and 9. Or
that's an important penalty.
3rd and 4 to 3rd and 9.
The playbook's a little different.
So Toby Wright is the lone receiver here to the near side. He settles in a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. Anderson drops back. He's looking right. Plenty of time. Finds Denmeyer in between the zone coverage, and he comes down with the pass and will take it down inside the Rick Barker red zone down to about the 11-yard line.
Pulaski County first down.
Gain of about 14. And that will be another first down, and the Maroons are in business.
Good throw.
It really was.
There was a hole in the zone, and Denmeyer was in it, and good job of Denmeyer to get 5 or 6 after the catch.
So they'll flip the formation, 3 to this side, 1 to the right side. Anderson looks to the right again, rolls to the left, pump fakes, gets a man in the air, throws to the back of the end zone to a wide open standing Denmeyer in the back corner.
12.
And just like that, the Maroons are on the board for a second time. 1 running and 1 passing.
Officially 11 or 12?
12.
Okay.
So at the 6:12 mark of the first quarter, the Maroons extend their lead out to 13-0, pending the PAT.
Rarely say things like this, but after the PAT, I got one for you.
Denmeyer on the hold. Good snap, good hold. Mounts kick up and through, and just like that, Citizens National Bank touchdown. Maroons lead this one 14-0.
On that play, just between me and you, I'll get a live read in here in a minute. Did you notice when Anderson rolled back, he went back and he rolled to this side, a block had to be there on the coming rusher. Who threw the block? Case and Brock. I'm just going to make it easy for you.
Thank you.
What I'm getting at is not only does he do the things that get publicity, he made a block that allowed the touchdown pass.
Yeah, that's pretty nice when you have your running back able to do that, and you're right.
Willing and able to do it.
Yeah, if he's not there to make that block, Anderson may get sacked.
May throw a pop-up.
Right.
Yep.
But Denmeyer was just hanging out back there on the back line and got lost.
I don't know how you, in coverage, how you lose Denmeyer, but he's got 4 catches for 74 yards, and we played a handful of minutes.
So this will be the 4th Intrust Healthcare kickoff of the game, and we are just halfway through this first quarter. Another low line drive that hits at about the 20. It's picked up this time before it goes out of bounds. There on the play is Cam Anderson, and he's brought down by a couple of Maroons there. Give the official tackle to Brian Ford. So the Jaguars will take over their second possession after turning over on downs at about the 25-yard line.
Well, if there was any question that Pulaski might be flat, I think you can check that one off. And I think when we found out how undermanned North Laurel was, they're going to have to take time out.
And that will be the first timeout of the game for either club. A Ron Shaw Realtor timeout with 6:08 in the first quarter on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard. Maroons lead this one 14-0.
You're waiting on me, aren't you?
No, I don't have to. I can do something else.
No,
I thought you had some live reads over
I
there.
do have a whole sack of them somewhere.
I see something.
Okay. Thank you for waiting on me. Intrust Healthcare Counseling Services has made it their mission to be the trusted leader in promoting mental health in Kentucky for the last 25 years. We personalize your service to meet your needs, whether it be in our office, over the phone, or on your computer. Call Intrust at 606-676-0638 to get your services started today from anywhere in Kentucky. You can always visit their Facebook page at Intrust Healthcare Counseling Services to learn more about how they can help you or your family today. At Intrust, your mental health matters, and got it in.
You did. So McCorder will come back on under center. He's got Nance behind him, hands it off to Nance, dances around the backfield a little bit, and he dances around long enough for the Maroons defense to make it to the dance, and he's going to be stopped for a gain of 1. Brought down by the entire defensive line, I believe.
Yeah, right now the offensive front's just not capable of keeping Pulaski from penetrating on the defensive front, and when your running back has somebody a hold of him by the time he takes the snap, that's a sign you're not getting much help up front.
So one receiver wide to the left, one to the near side. Going to turn around and hand it off.
Little counter
again,
move.
And he gets through the hole and into the secondary. Got through a tackle. I thought he was going to be stopped for a minimal gain, and he's going to get all the way across the 50 and will end up being a gain of 24 on second down.
The initial first down of the game for the Jaguars, and That was a little bit of a counteraction and blew through a hole. Somebody wasn't home.
So Bryson Nance, and he had to be corralled there on the play by Gavin Atwell, who was in coverage. Same play. Atwell, who was looking for some room, and Nance couldn't find anybody. Blevins and Ping, and
Brock and others.
And stopped him for a loss of 1 on the play.
So now you're 2nd down and 11, and this offense needs positive first downs.
So North Laurel will come out in the same formation they've been in this whole drive. Extra blocker there on the left. McWhorter fakes and rolls to his right this time. He's still looking. He's able to throw a dart there to his intended receiver on the play. It's going to be Caleb Roark. Very short gain. 4 yards across midfield, down at the 47-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd and 7.
That's a tough throw, and he had a lot on that. That was a dart.
That really was. And you have to give Roark some credit for being able to bring that one in. And one thing that I saw, though, is McWhorter's ability as a rusher, I think we'll see before the night's through.
Without a doubt.
Back into the shotgun. McWhorter will roll to his left,
Good
looking
call.
to keep it, and he will take it himself. Gets to about the 40-yard line before he finally gets dropped. Will be just short.
That's my partner made that call.
That sounded like I knew what I was talking about
First
for a
time,
change.
yeah, well, broken clock's right twice a day. It's going to be 4th and short again for North.
And I'm not going to try to press my luck here, but I wouldn't be so sure that McWhorter doesn't take this himself. But Nance is lined up at tailback.
Yeah.
Extra blocker right here beside the quarterback, and he will take it right up the middle.
No, my bad.
And McWhorter will get across the 39 down to about the 38, so give him 2 yards and enough for the first down. And I'm 2 for 2. I'm going to stop.
Yeah, you better hit, but 4th and 9 would be a stretch right now if they don't convert here.
So as we've seen the entire night, McWhorter and Nance will stay in the backfield. McWhorter drops straight back
Sent
this
the
time
house.
under some pressure. Now he rolls out to his right, looking for his receiver. Will find him at about the 30. Well, they marked him out at the 34.
That's
Pass
Gilbert.
was complete to Gilbert. Thank you.
But only, 2?
Yeah, gain of 2. So McWhorter retreated about 20 yards, and will bring up 4th and 5.
He throws a nice ball on a dead run toward the sidelines because that's all we've seen. They haven't been able to let him drop back and throw anything.
He tried there, and as you said, the Maroons
They sent the
brought
house. Yeah.
Pressure, and he had to get out of there.
Big 4th down.
4th and 5, 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Maroons showing pressure again, and there's jumping
We've
around
got movement
everywhere.
on both sides. Pick something.
I believe that this is going to go, and it will go against the Jaguars.
Their first penalty.
Bryson Brown here at his defensive tackle spot jumped, but didn't get into the neutral zone and enticed the Jaguars to jump. So, as you said, the first penalty and a crucial one in the grand scheme.
Not a good time for a penalty in your 4th and
11,
long, and you add to it.
Go from 4th and 5 to 4th and 11, and another turnover on downs here will give the Maroons fantastic field position once again and a 14-point lead. McWhorter starts to roll left, drops back, looking for his man down there, and there's all kinds of...
Dropped it.
Oh, my goodness. There was all kinds of contact.
Pulaski's defender got up in the receiver. Could have been
pass interference both ways, and that was Boone Godby on the coverage. And Carter Kelly was the intended receiver, and he broke free, and it was going to be a touchdown.
It was.
And he just dropped it.
I know the ball was not in the chest area, but he had to reach down about waist high for that one. But that's a missed opportunity.
So, yeah, that's a big miss right there. And Zach brings the offense back out, and he is going to hand it to Winston Ford, and Ford is going to go right up the middle and pick up about 5 on first down. So the Maroons having a lot of success running the football early in this game.
You asked in the opening, would they come out throwing it or run it? And what did I tell you?
You said they were going to run, and they threw it the second play of the game.
But they're still going to run it till you stop them.
Right.
Yeah, Denmark's got 4 catches already.
Second and 5, Anderson looking to throw again, and he's going to this time find Godby, and he's hit immediately, but holds on to the ball. It will be a gain of 4, bring up 3rd and 1, and my guess is that will be the last play of the first quarter unless Coach Burns just really wants to get another play off.
Welcome back, Boone Godby.
Yeah. Comes
Great
back.
catch and got tattooed for it.
6 seconds remaining. And we do get a snap. Hands it off to Kaysen Brock. And Kaysen's not going to get the first down. So we're going to step away here at the end of the first quarter. The Maroons lead this one 14-0. And when we come back, we will see the Maroons at midfield make a decision whether they're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
Service before and after the
Okay. We're back. And 1 quarter in the book, Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard shows Pulaski leading 14-0 over North Laurel. Pulaski has the football 4th and about a yard just inside North Laurel territory. Well, just inside their own territory because we've got to swap ends. He'll get it right yet. And it looks like, well, Pulaski short punted out of this set last week, or quick kick, whatever you want to call it. Let's see what they do here. Well, I'm tempted to go up top. That's what I'm tempted, but
you got single coverage up there.
That's what I'm tempted.
Well, single high safety. Anderson will go under center and quarterback sneak, and he will spin his way across the. Well, they're going to give you the spot right at the 50. That's enough. Gain of 2 on the quarterback sneak, and that will be a first down for the Maroons as they move into, well, they put the ball down the 50.
Number 6 on the first downs, and we forget sometimes Anderson's a good-sized young man. And on a sneak, I mean, he's a load.
Some shotgun formation. Anderson looks back to pass. Another quick screen to Denmeyer. And this time I believe Harris heard footsteps because I saw the alligator arm syndrome. He came down and was trying to avoid the contact on that one.
And nor that a player that had a run at that ball. I think it was Kelly. I'm not sure, but that one could have been trouble.
Yes, because it got up in the air.
Yep.
But brings up 2nd and 10. Anderson will drop back to pass again. He's got time. He's looking and thought Godby was going to zig, and he zagged, and it will be incomplete and bring up 3rd and 10.
Well, I don't know exactly. I'm not down there, but it looked like the hole in the zone was on the inside, and Godby brought it outside. But now I don't know what either one of them read, so I'm not saying one of them blew the call, but there was a gap in the defense. They just didn't exploit it.
They weren't on the same page.
There you go, what he said.
Now Laurel showing some pressure, picked up, and there's another dropped ball. Ethan Idlewine, first time we've called his name, and I think Ethan had intentions of taking that one 50 yards to the house, but he forgot the football.
Well, and Pulaski does not show, well, maybe, no, they're not showing punt.
No, this would be a good opportunity to quick kick it like they did with nobody back for North Laurel.
That's what I'd be thinking.
And they're trying to get the
draw
hard
them off.
count, right.
Yeah.
Anderson looks to the sideline, adjusts the formation. And we are going to see a quick kick. So Anderson kind of sneak back, and that's a beautiful high spiral that hits at the 10 and does the old 60-degree wedge back up.
Giving 32 or 3 on the punt, but like you said, the Bellotta ball backed up.
And had a nice, high, tight spiral.
Yep.
Just bounced the wrong way. But anyway, so
Anderson's a pretty good punter. We've seen small sample size 2 times. That's a one-step punt and pretty impressive. All right.
With no return.
If North, you had a little success last time and it stalled. Before halftime, if you could put a score up right here, I think it is huge for the people on that sideline.
So a little different formation, 2 receivers both ways. McCorder throws to the motion man. That's Minor, and I think he heard footsteps. Minor went in motion, and McCorder kind of double pumped it. Ends up trying to hit him out in the flat.
Well, both teams, I guess the second quarter says you open it up because Pulaski came out and threw it back-to-back plays.
And got no yards.
And got nothing out of it, and now North comes out in a little more of a traditional passing set.
And got no yards.
And got nothing out of it. I'm John Kane, wherever you are.
But they're going to come back to it. Send 2 receivers to the far side, 2 here to the near side. Minor goes in motion again. McCorder fakes the handoff, and the old zone read.
Yeah, but
read option.
Pulaski was ready for that.
And Finley and Braden Ping were there to greet McCorder for a loss of 3 on second down.
You mentioned Ping. He's the 4th leading tackler on this football team this year. He gets his nose in a lot of stuff.
And playing that weak side linebacker spot, and he and Finley weren't fooled with all the motion and the fakes. So McCorder will send 3 receivers to the far side. He'll roll that way. Still looking. Pulls up. I believe that one bounced, but we're going to wait for the signal. And they're going to say he caught it, Mike.
Back judge going to say he caught it. Side judge.
We're still waiting on the official.
We have a consensus in the booth.
Yeah,
it hit the ground.
Yeah, so now we do have it overruled that it did bounce. So if somebody did see it, it will go down as incomplete.
Matt overruled.
Yeah.
You got a secret video over here or something, man?
I thought that I saw
it.
My eyes are
it
not
was
as good.
A bounce.
So it will go incomplete. And
only crazy people fake a punt from here.
So at the 15-yard line, and Collier Mills will check in to do the punting duties.
Collier Mills, that name sounds familiar.
Yep. As Will Adams stands back at his 45, so he's expecting a good punt, and it is a nice high spiral that goes
about 33 yards, 34. From the 17 to...
So a nice punt, and that's where the Maroons will take over. Their second possession in the second quarter. 10:09 remaining here before halftime. The Maroons lead this one 14-0 and stalled out on their last possession, Mike.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Burns, I want this drive to end up in the checkers on the far end down here.
So I'm going to try to go 3 for 3. A handoff to Case and Brock right here. And no. The quarterback run.
Same thing.
And Anderson looking for some space.
Good defense.
And we'll get across the 50 to about the 48, give him a gain of 2 before he gets spun around and down.
Nance got in on that tackle.
So Idlewind checks out. Adams checks in. Wright will be down here by his lonesome, standing on the 5 in the 50-yard line. Anderson drops straight back to pass. Now he's flushed. He's still looking. Throws it deep for Denmeyer. He's behind the coverage, but
contact.
Yep, a real good recovery there. And Denmeyer is slow to get up, Mike.
He got whacked.
So that ball,
no call, right?
No call. And Oh, we got a flag back here.
That's what I thought. Pat signaling holding. So I think Pulaski.
I didn't see the flag come in.
Guilty. I've caught myself looking downfield too much this year. I used to watch the back end of the play.
Denmeyer is hobbling off, and Godby will check in for him.
Pulaski's fourth penalty for 30 yards here in the opening half, if you keep up with things like that.
Some people do.
Coaches do. What do you think?
They sure do. So 2nd and 10, ball's all the way back at the 41-yard line.
Finley got his hands palms up. That means, what are we doing?
Well, so we flipped from some positions around. Finley has went to the Z. Brock will get the handoff around the left side, finds a hole, breaks the tackle, gets into the secondary, back down into the Jaguars' side of the field. He'll pick up the penalty yards plus about 5 more, Mike, and make it 3rd and 5 at about the 41-yard line.
Brock's got 60 on 4 carries for 1 touchdown. I think they've gotten away from using him, but I think it's early to be getting away from using him.
So shotgun formation again for Anderson. He looks back, looking for Godby on a quick pass, and that wasn't Godby either. That was Toby Wright, and just it was up and in, too far out of the reach.
5 straight incompletions. So after 7 straight completions to start the half.
So 4th and 5, and the Maroons will bring a
once again
bunch formation here to the right side. Anderson rolls that way, looking to pass. Stops, pumps. Now he's looking. He's got Finley down there. Finley a little push off and will back his way into the end zone, Mike.
46.
And you do what a veteran receiver does in that situation, as Finley shows a little bit more. He pushed off just enough to create some space and was able to haul it in as the defender was draped around his legs, and he just backed his way into the end zone. Did you say 46 yards on the touchdown?
I had 46.
Yep. So at the 8:45 mark here of the second quarter, the Maroons looking to extend their lead by 3 touchdowns, and the Mounts PAT is up and good, and that's where we'll leave it. The Maroons leading 21-0. 8:45 remaining before halftime.
Don't forget, Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships is the official photography sponsor of Lake Cumberland Sports. A big thank you to them for being our official sponsor. At Don Franklin, they work daily to provide their customers with the best possible experience. You can visit any one of their 5 Somerset locations or go on Facebook at Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships, where they treat you like family. And Modern Systems, since 1979, has been protecting communities all across Kentucky, and they're proud to be part of the communities they serve, committing time and sponsorship to numerous charities like Project 5810, Relay for Life, March of Dimes, Heart Walk, and local school programs, and many more. Modern Systems, your neighbors, your friends, they work 24/7 to protect the things that matter most to you, from home to business to schools and churches. Let Modern Systems be your trusted name and security partner. North Laurel needs to score.
On the ropes.
Yep.
After the Citizens National Bank touchdown, the Entrust Healthcare kickoff this time is a short end-over-end kick that is taken by the starting quarterback. That's McCorder at about the 15-yard line, and he'll take it for about a 15-yard return up to about the 30-yard line, and that's where the Jaguars will take over.
Yeah, the thing you've done, though, by moving McCorder to quarterback, they've probably had to do that.
Right.
You take away his ability to be a game breaker with the ball in his hands after the catch or after the run. And you can tell that this offense is just trying to find itself right now.
But I will bet you good money that there's very few starting quarterbacks in this state that are the kick returner.
Yeah.
And McCorder looks, rolls out to his right. He saw an open man, but not able to make the connection.
Yeah, it's sort of, like DH in your best pitcher.
Right. Well, now, if you're Shohei Ohtani, that works.
Well, but he's like special.
Yes, he really is.
Speaking of special,
they're playing tonight.
They're trying to turn that into a good old-fashioned hate relationship out there in San Diego and LA.
My Padres do not like the Dodgers, so that series is tied 2-2. And the winner of that game will move on to the National League Championship Series. But back to football.
Yes.
McWhorter will give the little shovel pass there to John Miner, and Miner is greeted unfavorably out there by
Pick a
Loveless.
number.
And I believe also you had Braden Ping on the tackle, and that will be a loss of 1. So Miner is not finding the confines of Pulaski County very comfortable.
No, that's an understatement, Mike.
So 3rd and 11. Maroon showing some pressure. Loveless on his way, and he is getting chased down from the backside by the other Finley brother. You saw a touchdown by Cohen, and Broderick Finley will get the sack of McWhorter back at the
that's a big one too.
line.
That's 12 yards.
And that will bring up 4th down, and this is going to be a quick 3 and out.
Yeah, they're trouble getting the punt team on the field because literally it just seemed like they got the football a second ago, and now they're in punt formation. Pulaski, talk about respect to the punter.
Well, he got a good one off last time.
Well,
Mills, this one is not so good. It is shanked off the side of his foot and will go out of bounds.
Oh.
But the flag comes flying in.
A lot of pointing going on.
So
it's going to be a 5-yard punt, 6-yard punt, but it may be a penalty against Pulaski County.
Right. Maybe a hold of some sort or a legal block. They're still talking about it. It's not going to result in a first down, Mike.
No, but if you're north, if you could repunt.
Right, because that was not.
I don't think that was his best.
Effort, exactly.
No. All right, guys.
So the conference is still ongoing.
Well, they're trying to make sure they get this right, and I'm all for it, but they're calling in the rest of the jury.
So the back judge.
There's a penalty against Pulaski.
The umpire.
There may be multiple penalties against Pulaski.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out what exactly they're going to call. And now they've got a 4-man committee.
We need a Ouija board. Maybe the theme from Jeopardy. They're going to get it.
Now they're trying to decide where they're going to mark it off from.
Well, you got to go to the line of scrimmage, I think. No?
Yeah, you'd have to go to the line of scrimmage.
They've gone to the 6-yard punt and going to mark off a penalty.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit confused because they're still trying to figure out.
I think somebody's trying to say no.
Going to call the holding on the Maroons, which should be a 10-yard penalty, but it should have been from the line of it's from the spot of the foul.
Yeah.
And so that will take the ball all the way up to the 40 or the 34-yard line. And that should not. Okay, so they're going to call it
after.
Well, they're calling it during, but it's on the return.
Yes, after the punt.
So double pump move. He's got to be down there.
Touchdown. 34.
That's Boone Godby, I believe, on the catch. And just a double move out there. And Anderson gave the punt fake, and Boone was able to get behind the defender. And what'd you have on the yards, partner?
I had 34.
So quick strike offense again at the
Chains are still where they're at. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps.
That helps.
So Mounts on to attempt the PAT. If I'd pay attention to the field, Mounts is 4 for 4 on PATs, and after the Citizens National Bank touchdown
through the Rick Marker red zone.
Yeah, 6:27 remaining on the clock. The Maroons are up 28-0 and are threatening to run away and hide from this one.
At the end of this game, we will select a Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game. During the Alton Blakely Family of Dealerships post-game show, we will also select a United Cumberland Bank Defensive Player of the Game and Promo Lawn Services Lineman of the Game. All those be selected in our post-game show. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. The Alton Blakely Family of Dealerships will sponsor our post-game show, and hopefully we will have a live interview with Coach Burns. I never promise those because coaches have people reaching and wanting them and stuff, and we'll get with him if we can, but you just said it. It's 28-0. You're in the situation now of you got to protect the football because the running clock comes in at 35 now.
New rule this year.
Yep, they straightened me out on it.
So Mouse, another short end-over-end kick that's going to be taken by the starting quarterback, return man McCorder, and he is going to get upended at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Jaguars will take over the offensive possession in their own territory again, and have had one drive, Mike, where they've had some success.
Yeah, I've got them with only 2 first downs on the game. Those came in that one drive.
End of one quarter up in Frankfort as the Warriors are playing the Franklin County Flyers, and down 14-6 at the end of the first quarter. McCorder turns and hands it off to Nance, and he squirts his way through the linebackers and will get all the way up to the 39 for a gain of 9 on first down.
Well, that's the same play that he broke earlier in the game for about a 24-yard gain. And again, they've got to start getting positive yards on first downs,
right,
so that this offense might get a little bit of momentum.
Just a little trap there, up the A gap, B gap, zero gap, whatever you want to call it, and
right over the ball.
Right, and Nance has found some success. McCorder, this time a little stretch play to the right side, and not so much success as the outside zone read play is not having near as much success as right up the middle.
Just between me and you, anything that's going left to right versus north to south is not going to be successful tonight for North Laurel.
Well, and when you're playing against a north school, you would think they'd want to run north and south. But
well, typically in the past, their reputation was line up and run at you.
So 3rd and 1. Clock winds under 6 minutes. McCorder turns around and hands it off to Nance off the right side, and he is fighting for yards. It looks like they are going to give him forward progress across the 40 to 41, and that will result in a North Laurel first down.
Well, that's important to North Laurel. They get the second half kickoff. I'm not trying to paint a rosy picture, but if they could find some way to parlay this into points, they're still in a football game. If they don't score before halftime, this team has only averaged 7 points a game for the last 4 games. They don't look like a team that's going to score 35 points in a half.
Right. So now we see a fullback has checked into the game, I formation, turn around, hands it up now. It's right up that middle again, and if the turf monster hadn't have got him, we may have been talking about a long touchdown, but he's going to stumble his way up close to midfield.
Was that Nance?
It was, and they're going to give him 7 on first down. We'll bring up 2nd and 3.
He's got 10 carries for 46 yards. He's earned it.
Now we've got a new tailback has checked in, I think. As soon as he turns sideways, I'll get you a number. But still have the high formation and right up the middle. And he runs up in there hard. And that looks like Brody Pruitt, I think, number 22, Mike. Yep. And Pruitt ran hard and lowered his shoulder.
Picked up, 8?
8.
Yeah.
And so the Maroons coaching staff has seen enough of right up the middle, and so we will have our first Ron Shaw Realtor timeout of the half called by the Maroons. 4:31 before halftime, leading 28-0.
We listened to you in Pulaski County and excited to announce the Rex Restaurant coming to Nancy, Kentucky in January. That's last year, by the way. Serving the finest in cooking, country cooking, big burgers, and complete ice cream and dessert shop. The Rex is located beside Dollar General in Nancy. My lovely wife and I had dinner at the Rex last night. I'm going to give you 2 snaps and a thumbs up to give you an old reference to In Living Color, if anybody. That's good food, good atmosphere. They waited on us quickly. Nobody rushed you to get in and out. I would tell you it's the best kept secret in dining in this county right now.
It is, and it's in Nancy, Kentucky. So go out and visit them at the Rex. As coming back to live action here, the Jaguars will line up in that power I for that I formation, and this time they instead of trying to go right up the middle, Brody Pruitt will try to bounce out to the left side, and Finley is there. We got a flag on the play. Maybe have a targeting or
not sure.
Well,
I'm waiting on some sort of initial signal.
So the umpire and the white hat we've seen this before, having a long conversation. Flag is right at the 45-yard line.
He's pointing the wrong direction here.
And so we've got a personal foul against the Maroons.
Personal foul against Pulaski County.
I've got that then. That's Pulaski will pick up their 6th penalty of the half for 55 yards. North Laurel will pick up their 5th first down of the half, and they're actually sniffing the red zone.
All the way down to the 31-yard line. So this drive that started at their own 30, they've been able to move it 40 yards with the help of a couple of penalties and a couple of runs right up the middle. As Pruitt stays in at tailback, he'll take the handoff off the right side, and he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage down there around his feet, and I believe that was our man with the 44 jersey, Colton Kane.
That was Kane.
In there to make the initial contact right at the line of scrimmage. So the Maroons defense trying to stiffen and keep this shutout intact. 2nd and 10 from the 31-yard line, and a long time of getting the players in. 44, Colton Kane.
5 on the play clock.
2nd and 10, the quarterback draw. He runs to the left side, trying to get to the sideline. Will get the corner, and we'll get down to about the 21 before he's brought down on the play there by Gavin Atwell.
That's 9 and a first down.
No, they're going to give him, they're going to give him the full 10. And so again, he outran Finley around the corner, and the Jaguars are set up 1st and 10.
McWhorter showed you a little bit of his athleticism there. He had a little burst.
So go back to the shotgun formation as Nance is checked back in, and McWhorter's going to keep it himself right up the middle.
Probably 3.
He will pick up maybe 1 or 2. We'll give him 3 on the carry.
I know, you're right. I was looking at the guy on the other side, but
yeah, Colton Kane again in there on the stop. Bring up 2nd and 7 as the Jaguars are in the Rick Barker red zone for the first time in the game.
Some adjustments have been made on the North Laurel sideline. This drive has a little different look to it.
Clock winds down to about 2 minutes before halftime, and Maroons bring some pressure on the backside, and you got flags flying.
You got Lovelace with a sack.
And you got a holding that did not help at all.
That was a wave. That wasn't a hold.
As Idlewild brought pressure, and
was that Lovelace on the tackle?
Lovelace come flying in and gave his best Superman impression as he went flying through
They're
the air.
going to take the penalty, by the way.
Yeah, so push them back so you don't give them an opportunity for a field goal. So they were in the red zone for one play, Mike.
Yeah, that's a hurtful penalty. You
Moves the ball back to the 20.
don't forget at halftime we'll have the stats review.
Second down, 17.
We'll talk about other action around the state and football, and maybe mention Vanderbilt. Who knows?
So a bunch formation to the far side. McCorder looking that way. He's under some pressure. Otherwise giving chase. He's going to get to him and pull him down, but will go incomplete. So McCorder is slow to get up over there on the sideline.
Pulaski's defensive staff, the last two plays have just turned loose.
Enough. We're going to give you some pressure. And
Yeah, we let you march down the field without scaring you a little bit. Now we're going to bring the house. Idlewild finally gets back to the huddle.
that was a long chase.
Well, you had to get a helmet and a shoulder pad and a couple other things back where they belonged, but McWhorter came back out, didn't he?
Yes,
yeah,
he did.
He's fine. There he is.
So 3rd and 17. McWhorter collecting the stops. Maroons bring pressure again. McWhorter's looking down. He's got a receiver down there, and we are this time going to get 2 flags as we are going to get a pass interference call, and that was Will Adams on the coverage.
Well, this is high school, so that will be a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot,
which should set them up in about 3rd and 2.
Oh, this ought to give them a first down. Another 15-yard penalty against Pulaski County. Give them 70.
Well, it was 3rd and
You're right. It's
17.
It's 3rd and 2.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 17. So after the penalty,
I'm the one that can't count.
It will take it down to about the 14-yard line, 3rd and 2. McWhorter goes under center, power I formation behind him. He's going to hand it off to Nance, and the Maroons are there on the tackle, and I believe that was Loveless that comes flying in there again.
And maybe others.
And we'll throw Nance down for a loss of about 3 on the play, Mike.
Maroon fans, your chance.
And so now another opportunity here for the Maroons to get a turnover on downs and keep the Jaguars out of the end zone.
Well, if you're outside, you've probably noticed the temperature has dropped significantly since we started this game.
October football weather in Kentucky is the way it should be.
But my partner's still wearing short pants.
And we are going to get a timeout, I believe. Well, we have a officials timeout for knee pads, I'm going to tell you.
Tell me no.
Well, so here's the problem that I've got with that. That's your starting running back that has been in the game for 23 minutes.
And you call it now?
No, I'm sorry. They're wrapping his elbow. There's some blood.
Okay,
So,
we've got to cover the blood.
Yeah.
That's good officiating.
I'm going to hush then.
Yeah, but I'm like you. That finding something to call versus
now,
just calling it.
We're going to get a timeout.
And that is their second of the half, partner.
Yeah, so that will be
a Ron Shaw Realty timeout.
Thank you. And Maroons with 1 minute and 8 seconds on the clock here before halftime, trying to hold North Laurel out of the end zone and preserve the shutout, leading 28-0.
Keeping stats and the correct score is important to players, coaches, and fans. The same can be said about keeping your taxes and finances in order. For over 26 years, Randall D. Turpin, CPA, has been doing just that. If accounting's not your thing, then let the pros at Randall D. Turpin, CPA, do it for you. Proud sponsor of Randall D. Turpin Scoreboard, located on Parkers Mill Road in Somerset. And the Randall D. Turpin CPA Scoreboard says we have 1:08 to go in the opening half. Pulaski's up 28-0. They have led since the opening drive. North Laurel threatening to make a football game out of this here before halftime. And partner, you never say never. There's another half of football to play. North scores here. Their attitude going in and out of the locker room's won. They don't score here. It's going to take a monumental effort for the coaching staff to get this bunch back ready to go.
And as you mentioned, I mean, this could be the double jeopardy that you're looking for. If they can score, find some way to score right here, they do get the ball back to begin the second half. So they can quite conceivably cut this lead in half.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best case scenario, but that's what they've got to try to do right now.
So Brody Pruitt is checked back in at running back. McCorder in the shotgun, and he's going to send Minor in motion. He's going to roll that way. Still looking. Ball's up, goes through the arms of one intended receiver. It hits the hands of another, and Brock is going to whap it down. And so the Maroons will get their second turnover on downs here, and we'll have the ball with 1 minute to go, 2 timeouts, and only need to go 85 yards.
There's a little bit of a vision of what North wanted to do when they got on the bus 4 or 5 hours ago. Unfortunately for them, it came up short. Fortunately for Pulaski, a good stand. And North has 1 timeout remaining, so they can't keep you from running out the clock. It's up to you.
So Anderson will check in, shotgun formation. Case and Brock off his right shoulder. Anderson looking for Denmeyer. They tried to put double coverage on him, but Denmeyer runs through it, and he is weaves back to the middle of the field. He's got 1 man to beat, and he's going to be dropped at the 4-yard line, but that's going to end up being a gain.
75, about 80, 81, pick a number.
81 yards.
Yeah.
And they had a safety over top, Mike. They were trying to double cover Denmeyer, and he just ran by him.
Well,
and Anderson threw a perfect ball.
And Wright was a pretty good escort vehicle on that too, I might add.
So 1st and goal in the Rick Barker red zone in a hurry. Anderson rolls to his right, pump fakes. Now he gets the ball comes out and recovered over there by the big lineman in the right spot, the right place. That's Connor Blevins. And could have been disastrous, but Coach Burns will call his second timeout with 39 seconds before halftime.
Yeah, the linemen, they never get their name called unless they commit a holding penalty or something. That time you saved the drive.
Connor was there, man on the spot, and you're right. I mean, that could have been after the huge play. You turn that over, and
that freshman is a big man.
He is.
I'm gonna say this: if it's a wrestling match, I'm taking him.
I promise you.
For a fumble, I'm taking him.
So let's rewind just a second. So the Maroons had the ball at the 4-yard line.
Inside the 5, yeah.
Yeah, 1st and goal. After the strip, sack, fumble, and Blevins recovers it, they're back at the 9-yard line. 2nd and goal. 1 timeout remaining. 39 seconds to go. Plenty of time. You can run it or throw it here.
Got a timeout left, right?
Right, got 1 timeout left.
That's what I thought.
And Boone Godby tried to sneak down here by himself, but the Jaguars.
That only works UK and Florida, okay?
Caught on. Yeah, that was
that
horrible.
play
I was
doesn't
there.
work.
So shotgun formation. He's going to bring Idlewine in motion from left to right. Anderson rolls that way. That's Denmeyer looking for Denmeyer and just overthrows him.
That's a tough route and a tough throw. There's 3 moves in that route. And
the only good thing that happened on that play is that incomplete and the clock stops.
And your quarterback came up limping at the end of it.
Yeah, he took a pretty good shot after he released it.
Yes, he did. Fortunately, it's close to halftime, and he may be able to get some attention, but things aren't exactly right.
So, bunch formation here to the near side. Toby Wright to the top of the formation by himself. Anderson rolls to the right, and he's looking for his man, and that is Denmeyer again. Wow. I don't understand how your best receiver gets that wide open.
10 yards? 9 yards?
9-yard completion from Anderson to Denmeyer, and that's Harris's second touchdown of the game, and that is Anderson's 4th touchdown pass of the game. So they had a minute to go, 85 yards, Mike. And
another Citizens National Bank touchdown pending the Mounts extra point. We will have a running clock
for the
in the second half of this football game.
So if you have plans to pop some popcorn and get a Coke,
Start
the third
the
quarter
clock.
might be done.
Start the clock.
So after the Mounts PAT and Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard, the Maroons lead this one 35-0.
Promo Lawn Services. Tired of battling the weeds and overgrown grass? Promo Lawn Services here to tackle your yard so you can relax and enjoy it. We offer expert mowing, trimming, edging, hedge trimming, and even specialized yard treatments to keep your yard looking its absolute best. Promo Lawn Service, your lawn's MVP. Call for a free quote today. Don't forget Hospice of Lake Cumberland. When a loved one faces a serious illness, it can feel overwhelming, but you're not alone. Hospice of Lake Cumberland is here to provide comfort, support, and dignity. Our team of experts focuses on pain management, emotional support, and helping your family navigate this difficult time. We believe in celebrating life, even in its final chapters. Let us help you create moments of peace and connection. Hospice of Lake Cumberland, compassionate care when it matters most. If you've ever dealt with those people, they're heaven sent.
So Mounts ready to set his foot to it. Going to send it to the starting quarterback, McCorder.
Why not?
Takes it at about the 18-yard line on the run, and he is met by Gunnar Lovelace at the 24.
He's not getting up very quickly.
And he goes back down. Yeah, that's...
Give him 6 yards and a real collision on that one.
That was a teeth rattler right there. As Lovelace shot through a gap and McCorder went to make a cut, and
he's back up and at quarterback, right?
Well, he's back up in quarterback, but he...
Halftime. Running clock, I forgot.
Yeah, luckily, that young man's getting ready to go to the locker room and try to collect his thoughts. So here at halftime from Pulaski County High School, the Maroons have parlayed 7 touchdowns into a 5 touchdowns, if you did the math right, to a 35-0 lead on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard. We're going to step away. We will do some recap. Mike will give you some individual stats, and then we'll bring you the second half action.
For a traditional mortgage. That's why the secondary market
At Citizens National Bank, we still take pride in treating each
Welcome back to Pulaski High School. Halftime here in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you've seen the Pulaski cheerleaders are wearing their pink jerseys tonight, North Laurel has had some players with some pink tape and different things. You know, breast cancer awareness is a topic that a lot of people in the area have dealt with, friends, family members. So keep those people in your thoughts and prayers. And also the hurricane victims over in North Carolina. Those folks are still going through some traumatic times over there, so keep them in your prayers as well. But here at Pulaski High School, the Maroons have struck early and often and lead this one 35-0. They opened up the scoring at the 10:21 mark of the first quarter. Kason Brock, right up the middle, sprinted 43 yards to the house, and after the Bryson Mounts PAT would lead this one 7-0. Just 4 minutes later, Anderson would find Harris Denmeyer in the back of the end zone, a 12-yard touchdown pass. PAT by Mounts would make the lead 14-0. That was all the scoring in the first quarter, but quickly in the second quarter, the 8:45 mark, Anderson would find Cohen Finley on a deep 46-yard touchdown pass. After the Mounts PAT would extend the lead to 21-0. Just a minute and 45 seconds later in the second quarter, Anderson would find Boone Godby down the left sideline, 34 yards passing catch. Mounts PAT would make the lead 28-0. This is not a broken record. Anderson, with 31 seconds remaining on the clock, they had to go 85 yards with a minute on the clock. He had a big pass play to Harris Denmeyer that took the ball down inside the 4, and he would find Harris later on 9 yards out. Mounts PAT would make the score 35-0. And that's where we stand on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard, as Mike is getting some individual stats together for you. As a trusted SCL and Michelle P. waiver provider, CAN Help Case Management helps individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities live independently in their communities. They strive to help clients increase independence, improve quality of life, and reduce caregiver burden. CAN Help Case Management is vital in helping these individuals thrive within our communities. If you or someone you know can benefit from service from SCL services, please give CAN a call today. This is our Buffalo Wings and Rings video game of the week on Lake Cumberland Sports. Our next video broadcast will be next week down at South Laurel, as the South Laurel Cardinals will invade the reservation and take on the Southwestern Warriors, who, by the way, are taking on Franklin County tonight, and they are trailing in that one 28-6 in what could go down as a defeat for Southwestern at Franklin County.
Well, Franklin County is a good football
They
team,
sure
so
do.
I'm not overly surprised at that on the road. I am ready to give you a little bit of
finish
numbers.
up, and I'll let you have it.
Go ahead.
Wings and Rings, wings created your way, always fresh, never frozen burgers. And now this is Mike.
Me?
You, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Oh, that's radio talk for it's your turn to talk. All right, North Laurel, 5 first downs in the opening half. Most of those coming in that one drive they put together just before halftime that stalled out, and then Pulaski just stuck a dagger, scoring quickly with a little over a minute to go, went 90 or 80 plus anyway. 5 first downs. They rushed the ball 21 times for a net of 58 yards. There's some sacks and other things in that, but 21 net, 58. Through the air, McWhorter 4 of 11 for 15 yards. I've got them getting off 32 offensive snaps for 63 total yards. Hey, Nick, that's about in the neighborhood of 2 yards per play, partner. That's pretty good defense. For Pulaski County, 10 first downs in the opening half. They rushed the ball 9 times for 74 yards. 1 touchdown. Passing through the air, Zach Anderson, 10 of 17, 172 yards, and I think the number is 4 touchdowns. So Pulaski gets off 26 offensive plays, 246 yards. That's in the neighborhood of 10 yards a play. Not quite, but it's very close. So 2 yards per play versus 10 yards per play. That's how you get to a 35-0 score at halftime.
And you told me Pulaski was going to run the ball.
Well, I lied. I've been wrong before.
No,
anyway,
I
penalties is one thing Pulaski's got to clean up.
Yeah.
7 for 70. North only 2 for 15. Only 1 fumble. It was recovered by Pulaski County. No turnovers in the opening half for either team. You ready for me to do some individual stuff, or
Yes,
you
sir.
want to do something else?
Nope, I'm ready for you.
We're ready to give you some individuals. For North Laurel, 6 carries. McWhorter had 6 carries for 8 yards. Also, remember, there are 2 or 3 sacks in involved in his total. Pruitt, 3 carries for 8. Minor had 1 carry for -1. Nance, 11 carries, 43 yards, obviously the leading ball carrier for North in the opening half. Minor had 1 catch for 9. Gilbert, a catch for 2. And Roark, a catch for 4. We gave you McWhorter through the air, 4 of 11 for 15 yards. For Pulaski County, Case and Brock only carried the ball 4 times in the half, 60 yards and a touchdown. Ottawine, no carries. Ford, 1 carry for 5. And Anderson, 4 carries for 9 yards. So you're right, Pulaski only ran the football 9 times in the opening half. They got ahead 14-0 while they were running the football, and then they turned the aerial show up. Denmeyer having himself a pretty good night. He's got 5 catches, 83 yards, and a couple touchdowns. Brock has 2 catches for 4. Cohen Finley, 1 for 46 and a touchdown. And Boone Godby, welcome back. 2 catches, 39 yards, and a touchdown. Anderson, I got to find my numbers again. I've covered them over. Anderson, 10 of 17, but 253 and 4 touchdowns in the opening half. That's a pretty good half of football.
I brag on you all the time to people that ask me about Mike Kirk giving stats and this and that, and you do a great job. But I'm going to fact check you on one.
Which one?
Harris Denmeyer. You had him with 83 yards.
What have you got?
I don't, but he got 83 on the one pass.
Oh no,
catch.
he's got 157.
That's okay. You had the one touchdown, I think, or the one big play, 83, and so it was 157 yards.
157.
That I can agree with.
And 2, count them, touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
What I did is I failed to write down the last 83-yard touchdown.
I'm with you. That's what I thought.
Well, Harris.
So I can brag on you again.
If anybody's listening, fortunately, your coach also has somebody keeping stats. And he told me today, I always look at your stats, but I also fact check you, so appreciate it.
Again, I can brag on you again.
Don't need to. Everybody makes them.
Oh, yes.
It's what do you do with them when you make them. Nick, our photographer, heading back to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. It's cooled off out there, partner.
It really has. And with Nick being here, we want to give a big thank you to Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships Kentucky for being the official photography sponsor of Lake Cumberland Sports. At Don Franklin, they work daily to provide their customers with the best possible experience. You can visit any one of their 5 Somerset locations or go on Facebook at Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships, where they treat you like family.
After the game, go ahead. I was just going to say, don't forget, we will try to get an interview with Coach Burns in our Out in Blakely postgame show. I will make no promises, but if we get one, I enjoy him because he's a pretty straight-up cat, but tonight he's got to be pleased with his opening half.
If you're stressed, anxious, or depressed at Intrust Healthcare Counseling Services, we can get services started today. Intrust offers you the flexibility of providing you with the counseling services in their office, on the phone, or through your computer. Give them a call at 606-676-0638 or visit their website at intrust-healthcare.com. At Intrust, your mental health matters. Since 1979, Modern Systems has been protecting communities all across Kentucky, and they're proud to be part of the communities they serve, committing time and sponsorships to numerous charities like Project 5810, Relay for Life, March of Dimes, Heart Walk, local sports, school programs, and many more. Modern Systems, your neighbors and your friends, and they work 24/7 to protect the things that matter most to you. From homes to businesses to schools and churches, let Modern Systems be your trusted name in security. So, again, from Pulaski High School, 2:45 on the clock before halftime, as we see some of the youngsters out there at midfield. The Maroons lead this one 35-0. Somerset's off tonight. They've got an off date.
They do.
And Southwestern is up at Franklin County tonight on the wrong end of things from what we hear.
Franklin County is one of the better teams in 4A football.
like I said, they beat this North Laurel team 42-0 early
That
in the year.
game was, believe it or not, a one-score game entering the second half. And that's kind of where the wheels, I think, for this North Laurel team began to struggle a little bit. They got blitzkrieged in the second half up there. And their offense is what it is. They had one chance to score, and they didn't.
As the famous Herm Edwards once said, they are who we thought they were. That wasn't Herm Edwards. That was the Atlanta Falcons coach. But
I give up, but they are who they – well, I will say this. Pulaski County, too many penalties. If you want to find something to fuss about, too many penalties, and some of those are thought penalties, motion, stuff like that. But, you know, unless they totally drop the egg here, they're going to be 2-0 after this in the district, looking at Harlan County here next week.
In the driver's seat.
And North Laurel's going to be 0-3 in our district. And how you would have predicted that before this season, I think not. Maybe Paul Wright, because he sees things differently. But best I can tell, the only way that North can make the playoffs is they got to depend on Harlan County not to beat Pulaski County tonight, or not to beat South Laurel or Pulaski next week, and they've got to beat Harlan County to get a win, because that's the only way that they. If Harlan County gets a win anywhere, the best North can do is one win.
Right, and so with 5 teams in this district,
yes,
you only send 4. And so I want to I don't know if you call it wax poetic, but I've got a dialogue here that. So we just talked about some of the records in this district.
Yes.
You have a 1-1 South Laurel team that was beaten by this Pulaski County team, and the RPI numbers tell you a different story. They are ranked 3 spots ahead of Pulaski County.
If you could explain RPI to me, I'll let you invest my money for me.
So the fine print.
Yes, okay.
So you've got, right now you have South Laurel 1, Pulaski County 2, North Laurel 3 with an 0-2 district record. Southwestern at 4 with a 2-0 district record behind them. And then Harlan County all the way down at the bottom. But when you read the fine print, it tells you that these RPI ratings are updated daily. Why do you need to update them daily?
Well, they only play on the weekend.
My point. Anyway,
well,
they said it takes a special.
If you and I are going to wax poetic about RPI, I'm going to drink my Dr. Pepper and watch you work.
I don't blame you. Well, we've got an extra 3 minutes.
I despise RPI. I mean that from the bottom. I looked at that at the first of the year, and they had Boyle County as the 7th best team in 4A football.
Right.
I'm going out on a limb. They are better than some of those teams that were in front of them.
So,
like all of them.
If you are a collegiate football fan,
yes,
one thing that I find very interesting, the Vanderbilt Commodores come to Kroger Field tomorrow to take on the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky 3-2 on the season, as is Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt just came off of one of the biggest upsets
ever
of the season by far. I thought that Notre Dame getting beat like they did was going to go down as one, but Vanderbilt, I want to say they were a 4-touchdown underdog.
They were.
They didn't just find one of those fluke plays at the end of the game and won 10-9 or something like that. They dominated the Crimson Tide.
Scored 100 almost.
And they come into Kentucky tomorrow, Mike, as a 13.5-point underdog. Explain that to me.
Well, I want to explain it to you. I honestly believe this. I've been a Kentucky football fan since the 60s. Kentucky will either win that game comfortably or they get beat. Okay? There won't be a 1-point, 2-point finish to that one. And Kentucky ain't going to score enough points to cover the over. So, Vandy,
So so Vandy they're averaging right around 40 a game.
They certainly are.
And if you look, and again, I know there's people out there saying, "Hey, we don't need to go too deep in this," but I'm gonna make my last comment. If you look at the over/under on that game and the spread of that game, they're saying that Vanderbilt's only going to score about 14 points.
Well, what I'm telling you,
that ain't going to happen.
Boys and girls, here's what the Uncle Chris and Uncle Mike are telling you this. Don't gamble on football.
That's exactly right.
Invest your money in something, but don't gamble. Football's a crazy sport, and everything, anytime you think it won't happen, and I give you this and I'll leave it. North Laurel, before last Friday night's game, was probably very sure they were going to beat South Laurel.
Yes. That didn't happen.
Well, you never know. I've seen some games that make you scratch your head, but we're getting ready. Hopefully, Pulaski's already deployed.
Yeah, we still got the light show going on.
I found the coat.
But they are out ready to kick it off. Mounts is ready to go. They will be kicking from right to left, from north to south. And
no, they'll be kicking to north.
They are kicking to north, kicking north and south. And one thing that I do not see on the field is number 10 for the Jaguars.
Well, he took a shot right before halftime.
And this is going to be fielded at about the 25. And McWhorter is out there, so good for that young man. But the return is going to be made by North Laurel's number 2. And that is Carter Kelly. 8-yard return. And that's where North Laurel will take over their first possession of the second half.
Well, McWhorter is being asked to do an awful lot in this offense, and he's going to get banged up. But I'm glad to see him back out there.
He will stay in, and Nance will line up off his right shoulder, shotgun formation, as Minor goes in motion. McWhorter looks that way, then comes back to a slant.
Who got a hand on it?
Gilbert, and Lovelace got his paws up there and deflected it and will fall incomplete. Update real quick from Franklin County. Franklin scored again 35-6 at halftime.
Wow.
That's Franklin County with a 35 and Southwestern with a 6, if anybody was curious.
Franklin County's pretty good, and Southwestern obviously is struggling to score right now.
So 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. McWhorter turns and hands it off to Nance. He breaks a tackle, makes a man tackle, and then the rest of the Maroon defense, with the exception of Adams standing back here by himself at the 40, will run him out of bounds for a gain of 2.
You make that comment, but it is a picture to see 10 maroon shirts over flying around the football, and there's Adams where he's supposed to be.
Right. He was staying home.
They didn't invite him.
So
he's stretching, getting ready, thinks this may be a deep ball.
So good job by the Maroons defense, bringing up a long 3rd and 8.
By the way, of a running clock, we're under 10 minutes.
McWhorter rolls right, pump fakes. Adams is in coverage, and it's going to be hauled in over there by Carter Kelly. And that's the thing that McWhorter has done very well, is he has thrown the ball up and allowed his receivers to just run under it, and that's going to end up being a 24-yard completion down to the 38.
Who was that on the catch?
That was Carter Kelly, number 2.
That's what I thought, Deuce.
Adams had good coverage, but the pass and catch was just better.
Perfect throw.
So 1st and 10 from the 38. McWhorter drops straight back, this time quickly to the right side. And John Minor on the catch, and then he was met immediately.
It was out of line originally.
No, that was Gavin Atwell that came up from his cornerback position.
That got the initial hit?
Yep, and then out of line came to help clean it up.
And then Gunner brought a little thing to the party, too.
So Atwell playing off a little bit in coverage, made the big hit, but a gain of 2. 2nd and 8. quarterback draw right up the middle. He finds a little gap, going to be tripped down by Lovelace. But we'll get down to about the 33, gain of 3. We'll bring up 3rd and 5 from the 33-yard line.
Yeah, Atwell was the one that made the hit. I apologize to him. I was so enamored by the hit, I wasn't paying attention to the number. If you're a receiver, you don't want that.
No, I mean, he caught the ball, and as soon as he turned, Atwell was there to lay the wallop on him. McCorder takes the snap. This is going to be a pump draw.
Wow.
And Nance is going to go right up the middle untouched, so they set that one up nicely. So
33.
Citizens National Bank touchdown for the Jaguars. And Mike, you think about the play at the end of the first half that sent us into a running clock. Had North Laurel been able to do that?
Absolutely. We talked about it was important. If ifs and buts. But again, the clock runs. It's supposed to stop on touchdowns, right. I think. But what do I know?
But North Laurel will get on the board of Citizens National Bank touchdown as Cam Anderson is on to attempt the PAT.
I was told no.
And the kick is up and good. And with 7 minutes and the clock running here in the third quarter, the Maroons lead this one 35-7.
Modern Systems, since 1979, Modern Systems have been protecting communities all across Kentucky, and they're proud to be part of the communities they serve, committing time and sponsorships to numerous charities like Project 5810, Relay for Life, March of Dimes, Heart Walk, local school programs, and many more. Modern Systems, your neighbors, your friends, they work 24/7 to protect the things that matter most to you, from homes to business to schools and churches. Let Modern Systems be your trusted name and security. Once again, Rick Barker, Godby Realty and Auction. Names you know, names you can trust. Real estate and auction services for farm, commercial, residential, and personal. Godby Realty and Auction. 49 years experience in real estate and auction business, and we're ready to put that to work for you. Go online at godbyrealty.com for more information. And so for the second time tonight, or first time tonight, North's going to kick off. Onsides.
Well, they kicked off to begin the game.
Yep.
So second time, and they do onside kick it. And
we're still wallering around.
Yeah, it was recovered over there.
Well, the Pulaski player was in a sitting position as he recovered it, and that invites all kinds of.
And so they're still trying.
We've not had a signal yet.
They're still trying to determine who got it, and the Maroon player was there, and they're still wrestling for it, and it looks like that Caden Carrier is going to come out, and it will be PC football right at midfield. So a good job by Carrier to get in there and dogfight for it.
And unlike high school basketball, where the running clock starts and stops when you get to that magic number, in football, once it starts, it stays running. So we're headed toward 5 minutes in the third quarter.
Like I said, if you were going to get a popcorn and a Coke, you better hurry. Zach Anderson will come back out. And that is not Anderson either. And
no, that's Adams, I think.
You have a little bit of excitement coming over there from the North Laurel, the visiting sideline. As Mike said, Will Adams has checked in and being the quarterback, and the handoff to Brock, he's brought down for a loss of 2 on the play. So they'll flip the formation. Brock will stay in the game off to the right of Adams. North Laurel showing some pressure. Adams rolls to his right away from the pressure, and he's just going to dump it over, and Brock goes up.
They're going to give him the catch.
And it will be completed. No, they're saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he gained what?
Nope, incomplete. Stepped out of bounds.
I'm glad we don't have replay. But that was, watching Brock, the effort on a play that in the grand scheme of things means not much. I got to like that.
So we'll bring up 3rd and 10.
So Adams is 0 for 1.
And the concerning thing for me is I do not see a number 2 on the sideline,
Nope.
Mike. Adams dropped back to pass. Quarterback draw. The line parts, and Adams gets across the 40 down to about the 35. Going to be a gain of 17 for a first down for the Maroons.
First down.
Adams got a little scoots. He can move a little bit. What'd you say officially you gave him?
17.
Thank you.
So Zach Anderson has remained in the locker room.
Yeah, I saw a player with a shirt off down here, but I'm not sure. I don't think that's him. They're wrapping a right shoulder on somebody down here.
Yeah, that's not Anderson.
Okay.
Anyway, here back to play. Idlewild gets the toss, looks for a seam, gets across the 30 down to about the 32-yard line. So give him a gain of 6.
His first carry of the game.
Actually gave him 7, Mike. I shorted him 1.
Well, we don't want to do that.
Second and 3.
I shorted Denmeyer 83 yards on one.
So second and 3 in a very rapidly moving third quarter. We're at 2:43. Anderson takes the snap. He's looking under some pressure, ducks under the sack.
Oh, my.
Now he will tuck it and run himself, get across the
First down.
35 to about or 25 down to about the 23, and that should be and will be enough for a first down.
Anderson's got a little elusive, Adams got a little elusive in him.
Yeah, he ducked under,
completely under.
and then put his feet to work and is able to pick up the first down. So the Maroons in business again here, trying to answer that early score by the Jaguars.
A freshman, I might add.
3 receivers split to the far side. Toby Wright here to the near side, hands off to Kason Brock up the middle, squirts away from a tackle at the line of scrimmage. We'll pick up 4, and we have a injured Jaguar on the play back at the 25.
Well, again, the clock stops for
injuries,
so we will have a bit of a stoppage here. Give me a chance to try to catch up, because with our sponsors, when they go to a running clock, it gets pretty hard on our sponsors. So we want to thank Toyota of Somerset, our title sponsor, and Ford Brothers Auctioneers, our presenting sponsor, for making this happen. This is the Buffalo Wings and Rings Video Game of the Week. We're glad you joined us, and the player is up, and I am glad to see that. That is Pruitt.
Yeah, Brody Pruitt, who had been running the ball a little bit, obviously playing both ways, and he is shaken up and will go off the field.
Don Franklin Family of Dealerships. Nick was in the booth with us a few minutes ago at halftime.
We saw him.
He's down there shooting the shots. See Pat Jenkins standing on the sidelines down here from our orthopedic specialist, and we've got all kinds of representation here tonight.
So 2nd and 7. Adams, shotgun formation, throws it out to Idlewild in the left flat, and he turns upfield and will take it inside the Rick Barker red zone down to the 15-yard line, and will bring up 3rd and 2.
I wonder if Idlewild ever played shortstop.
Yeah, that's a pretty good play right there. At least I'm glad it wasn't a one-hopper.
No, I think he went down and got the glove under the ball,
Yep.
but he had to bend.
Instant replay confirmed.
Did it?
So 3rd and 2.
Don't tell them we've got that up here, because something happens, they'd want us to show it to them, and I don't want to ever do that.
So under a minute. Adams will take it himself, finds the seam, gets into the secondary, down to about the 5-yard line, and I believe we had another fumble, but the back judge, I know that young man, comes in and blows it dead.
You're going to get 12 on the carry.
And we'll set up 1st and goal for the Maroons at the 2-yard line.
Adams runs the quarterback keeper a little different than Anderson.
He does.
Anderson's more of a find a hole and burst in. Adams is just like a rocket. Got the big boys in it in the backfield.
As Colton Kane and Gunnar Lovelace have checked in, and they will be the lead blocker, but not before the 4th quarter, Mike. As here from Pulaski High School, Maroons threatening to score, but after 3 complete, the Maroons lead this 35-7 on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard. and we'll bring you fourth quarter action after this from Mike.
I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on our game of the week. It's Buffalo Wings and Rings. Be sure to go by and see them. Wings created your way and always fresh, never frozen burgers. We gave you the whitest cabinet keys to the game tonight. We let the man himself, Coach Burns, do that for us, so we appreciate him that. I want to thank Lake Cumberland's Orthopedic Sports Medicine, Dr. Jesse Pace, and Dr. Patrick Jenkins of Lake Cumberland Orthopedic Sports Medicine. For athletes of all levels, for the weekend warrior to the professional. At Lake Cumberland Orthopedics, our goal is to get each patient back to the highest level of physical activity possible. Proud to support local athletics by serving as team physicians for Lindsey Wilson College, Southwestern, Somerset, Pulaski, and Wayne County High Schools, and other athletes throughout the Lake Cumberland region. I'm pretty sure that back judge plays baseball for Lindsey Wilson, but I'm not going to go there. Well, the crowd just seemed to enjoy that one, so maybe I'll throw another pearl of wisdom at you here in a minute.
So first and goal from the
in the strict marker red zone.
Wildcat formation. Brock takes a direct snap. He's going to follow his big lead blockers untouched into the end zone. So just like that.
What, 3 yards?
And the clock didn't start.
2 yards? 3 yards.
2 yards. 3 yards, we'll give him 3. And Kason Brock takes it in for his second touchdown of the night. This one's a much shorter variety. He had a 43-yarder to open the game.
Again, people are going to see the stats of this game and say, Brock didn't have a good game. Brock's only carried the football 7 times. But again, he's the workhorse, the bell cow in this offense. For him to get a night off, basically, well, he plays defense and everything else.
Right.
Mounts with a kick while I'm talking.
And it is up and good. So Mounts is a perfect 5 for 5 on the night, if you're keeping track of that.
Before I give you a read, let me give you something on Mounts. Now the clock is running.
Yeah, they finally figured it out.
But they just scored. It still runs?
Right, I know.
Yeah, well, it still is.
I know.
Okay, just between me and you, Mounts goes well above 90% accuracy on his PATs. You remember the first couple games, there were people questioning his act. He's also hit a huge, in a big situation, field goal last week, and his confidence level, you can just see it. He's a different kicker.
Was our Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game last week.
And I talked to his coach about it today, and he said he thought it was a good pick, by the way. Said, I asked him before I sent him out there, you going to go make this field goal? And he said, yes, coach. So you got to love that.
So Mounts on to put his toe to it. And it is a end-over-end kick that McCorder will field, turns left, looking for some room, and he's going to be hog-tied there at about the 30-yard line. There on the tackle was Winston Ford, along with Caden Carrier. So North Laurel Jaguars send the offense back out there, and we are already at the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter, trailing this one by 35. Maroons have put up 42 in this one. McCorder will operate from the shotgun. He's going to have Bryson Nance off his right shoulder. He's going to drop back. Double pump. This time the Maroons are playing a little bit deeper. Now he rolls out to his left, still looking, and he's just going to get rid of it and save some yardage. Out of bounds, we'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Trying to do a little research over here, so I'm going to go dead on you for a second.
Research? We're not supposed to be doing research. As Mr. Toby Durham makes his presence known here in the booth tonight.
He's here to correct me on all the calls that I get wrong. He's been a busy man throughout the years.
So I did learn something about a call last week that I falsely called on the touchdown that was called back. I said that it was a sideline warning.
Yeah,
and here's McCorder on the pass, just a little high, incomplete. As the signal they gave was the correct one. I called it wrong. They pushed forward and not backward, which aiding the runner. And that is why that the touchdown was nullified, and it was not a sideline warning, as I first said.
And I will now know that for as long as I continue doing this. I have never seen it called.
No, at the high school level.
And it was a good call because it was obviously going on. So.
Right. So 3rd and 10 here for the Jaguars, trying to avoid a costly 3rd and out. As Minor comes in motion, McCorder drops back. He drifts left, looking that way, and will find his receiver. That's Cam Anderson.
Depends on the spot.
And should be enough. He had to get to the 40, and they're going to spot it right at the 40, and there is the signal, enough for the first down.
Who was on the catch?
That was Cam Anderson, number 3.
Thank you.
Ran a good route, just up and out, right at the yard to gain, and McCorder hit him with a very good pass. And so the Jaguars will operate with a new set of downs here with the clock winding under 7 minutes. McCorder drops back. He's looking deep down the field. He's got a man there, and that's Carter Kelly. And Carter will make the catch all the way down to about the 20-yard line. So
39 yards.
Give him a 39-yard pass and catch.
Well thrown ball.
And the Maroons were just in a 2-deep zone coverage right there, and Kelly got right in that seam where you want to attack a 2-deep coverage. And a big gain, and the Jaguars are threatening the Rick Barker red zone for the second time here in the second half.
I know as a coaching staff, you're glad to see this bunch hadn't packed it up.
McCorder rolls to his right, looking, and throws this one just a little too far out of the reach intended for Colton Gilbert, and will fall incomplete and bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, my research has now been confirmed.
And what did you come up with?
There were 6 players left the North Laurel football team after last Friday night's game,
but
including the starting quarterback.
Right, 6 pretty important.
And and there's a backstory. I will not get into it.
Right.
Thanks, Nate.
The Maroons showing pressure. They bring pressure, and they were going to drag down Bryson Nance before he ever gets going, as there was a host of Maroons in there on the tackle. You had Braden Ping coming in.
We're headed towards 6 minutes, pardon me.
Brody Johnson in there on the tackle, as well as Boone Godby, all there to bring Nance down. So Nance had some success in the first quarter.
He did.
Right
Well, he's
middle.
got 76 yards rushing tonight.
Right, and then Coach Burns called a timeout. They made an adjustment, and it stopped that. Now McCorder, under pressure, rose to his right, still looking. Found a man who was wide open at about the 23, and you could see his head turning around looking to see where he was going to run to before he caught it. That was John Minor, and it falls incomplete and will stay 4th and 12.
So Pulaski, you're going to move to 4 and 3.
You're calling it?
Yeah. This election night, I'll give you one call. Pulaski's going to move to 4 and 3, but more importantly, 2-0 in the district, setting up a game here next week that we'll have for you with Harlan County.
McCorder drops straight back to pass. He's going to throw it up and let his receiver try to come back to it. And there's a mugging that went on.
There's been a murder down on Music Row, boys.
In the right corner, as
is that Godby?
Carter Kelly was the intended receiver, and Godby.
I think it's Godby.
Yeah, it is. Boone was on the coverage, and he undressed Carter at about the 3-yard line.
Can I point something out?
Yeah.
That is the first penalty called in the second half.
Yeah, and
How you like that?
I do. I love that.
You think these officials are like us? They're not doing anything to short anybody, but they're not lengthening the game either.
So with it being a 15-yard penalty, that is not an automatic first down. So it moves the Jaguars into the Rick Barker red zone, but it's 4th and 1 from the 11-yard line. McCorder's going to keep it himself, and he's just going to ram his way right up the middle, and he's going to pick up plenty enough for the first down. He'll get 4 on the carry, and we'll set them up 1st and goal from the 8 with 4 minutes remaining in this one.
Oh, my bad.
28-yard line.
Mike's trying to steal Matt's phone.
Well,
over
Matt
here.
was getting messages from people, and I'm trying to open them.
Yeah, trying to steal his phone.
All right, Matt,
he's
that was innocent, man. I promise you. I promise you.
I'm just helping you out.
So 1st and goal from the 8.
Oh, Michael.
McCorder looks to the left sideline. There's incidental contact.
If he finds a flag, you're going to get it.
And they got it.
Yeah, that was a tackle.
That was, I was trying to say it was incidental contact, but there was an awful lot of contact. And
incidental contact.
Was Godby over on that sideline.
That's a Class D felony if you're out on the street. Okay,
so
that's assault.
Yeah, so I want to make one correction. So I gave Godby the penalty here on the pass interference.
Right.
And so they flipped him, and they put him on the other side, and they went right at him.
And
over
found
there.
him again.
And he gets another half the distance to the goal line penalty.
Yeah.
Will remain 1st down from the 4. Wishbone formation with
Clock
3
runs.
lead blockers, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get.
Somebody called timeout.
No, I think we got a
penalty.
whistle.
We got a penalty then.
And they're counting headgear, and we have ineligible participation. I believe the Jaguars had 12 people on the field, Mike, because one goes running off.
Yeah, I think they did, and this is going to lead to a timeout, I think. No?
So I was trying. So they lined up in the Wildcat formation. They had 3 backs in the backfield lined up behind the tackle in the end, but they still had 7 on the line. That math don't hunt. Or 8 on the line, I mean. So now they line up in it.
Here we go.
With only 11 men. So McCorder takes it. He's going to follow those blockers, try to go around the right side as the flag comes flying in from the white hat. He's down at the 1-yard line, but we're going to get a holding, and we'll come back.
Wow, McWhorter's still laying it out down here at the goal line, and I hate to see that call, but
just a minute ago, the Jaguars were 1st and goal from the 4, and now they're going to find themselves 1st and goal from about the 19.
And the clock becomes an issue. They may have to hurry up to try to get off a handful of snaps here.
19-yard line, 1st and goal.
So 1st and goal in the Rick Barker red zone, just over the 20-yard line. Clock winds down to 1 minute remaining in this one as the Maroons are up big, 42-7, and we've got all kinds of movement on the line, and they're dropping 8 players in coverage. And McCorder finds his receiver down at the 5. He breaks a tackle, and I believe that is Colton Gilbert, number 16. And
16 yards on the pitching, and there's no penalty.
Yeah. So now we're back to 2nd and goal from the 3, and the Jaguars are feverishly trying to get into the end zone here. McCorder and the Maroons were ready. They brought the double A gap blitz, and Gunnar Lovelace is there along with a host of other Maroons, and North Laurel is going to call a timeout to stop the clock.
Yeah, we're under 36 seconds. All right, this one's going to go final, and we're going to give you a recap, and after that, we'll sign off. And we're going to go try to get Coach Burns. If we can get Coach Burns, that'll be posted up on
Facebook,
and you can find it on YouTube right after it. But that's depending on the fact of whether we can get Coach Burns in the Alton Blakely. It's not that he's being elusive in any way. He's very cooperative. It's just there's a whole bunch of people here tonight, media-wise, and I don't know if I think he'll probably give us a place in line. He's a pretty good guy. But North really, right now, for their football team, you don't want to pull for anybody, but a score right here would probably be a good thing.
So 3rd and goal, McCorder operates out of the shotgun. He drops back. He's looking for his receiver, and it's just a quick slant and good coverage that time by Boone Godby. And North Laurel will call another timeout as the ball fell incomplete in the end zone, and will bring up 4th and goal.
Let me quiz you on something. Before the game tonight, if you said, who will throw more forward passes in this game, North Laurel or Pulaski County?
I would have went with Pulaski County, and that would have been incorrect.
North Laurel has thrown 2 more than Pulaski has in this game.
I would have gotten the incorrect.
I thought something was going. You got totally joking. He's playing with the buttons over there. All right, here we go.
So 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. Could I have phoned a friend or used a lifeline if I'd have been?
You had it right.
McCorder will look to throw again, and the Maroons bring pressure and throws it out here in the right flat to his running back Bryson Nance, and they call the right play against the right defense, and Nance will take it in from 4 yards out, and that will cap this one. They're going to try to get the extra point off as the clock continues to run, as people are running off and people running on, and they get the snap, and the kick is up and good, and you hear the horn, and that will bring us to the conclusion of this one, as the Pulaski County Maroons will move to 2-0 in the district and move 1 game above 500 and go to 4-3 on the season, and will be back home next week as they will take on the Harlan Black Bears here in the 3rd district game of the year. But for tonight, the Maroons come out on top 42-14. Mike's going to get you some numbers, some stats together. We're going to get through the Alton Blakely post-game show, and then we're going to conclude that with a try to get Coach Burns for a post-game interview and talk about the game here. But before we do, I will give you a scoring recap as Mike is trying to get you some numbers. The Maroons opened up the scoring in this one, and it was a repeat performance the entire first half. Kason Brock at the 10:21 mark would take it in 43 yards out. After the bounce PAT, the score would be 7-0. 4 minutes later, Anderson would find Harris Denmeyer in the back of the end zone for his first touchdown pass and reception of the game to extend the lead to 14-0 after the bounce PAT. That would be all the scoring in the first quarter. In the second quarter, the Maroons would strike again as Anderson this time would find Cohen Finley, and he would back his way into the end zone for a 46-yard touchdown completion. Mounts PAT would make the lead 21-0. A minute and 45 seconds later, Anderson would find Boone Godby in the opposite corner of the end zone, 34 yards out. After the Mounts PAT is good, the lead would move to 28-0. All the way down to the end of the second half with 31 seconds on the clock, Anderson would find Denmeyer all alone again, this time in the middle back of the end zone. 9-yard touchdown pass, and the Maroons would extend their lead to 35-0, and we would have a running clock, would make the second half very quick. The Jaguars would come out and not lay down. They'd open up the scoring in the third quarter. Bryson Nance would take it up the middle 34 yards, and after the Anderson PAT was good, the lead would be cut to 28, 35-7. Kason Brock would come back at the 11:47 mark with a 3-yard touchdown run of his own to extend the lead back out to 42-7 after the Mounts PAT. And just seconds ago, North Laurel would find their way into the end zone as Bryson Nance would take it in for a touchdown. And after the PAT is good, the final score from Pulaski County High School is 42-14.
Don't quit.
I'm not going to. I'm going to try to give you something here. A big thank you to all of our sponsors here tonight that make this possible. Toyota Somerset, our title sponsor. Ford Brothers Auctioneers and Realtors, our presenting sponsor. Buffalo Wings and Rings make the video game of the week possible. Don Franklin Family of Dealerships and Nick Hibbert, our official photography sponsor of Lake Cumberland Sports, Lake Cumberland Orthopedics Sports Medicine. Whitest Cabinets, CV Hansford Realtor, Intrust Healthcare, Rick Barker, Randall D. Turpin, Citizens National Bank, Ron Shaw Realtor, Somerset Community College, United Cumberland Bank, Pro Mo Lawn Service, and Alton Blakely brings you the post-game show where we will bring you the Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game, the United Cumberland Bank Defensive Player of the Game, and the Promo Lawn Service Lineman of the Game. After that, I believe we do have a score. The last score update we had from Franklin County High School is Franklin County in the third quarter led that one 35-6. And so Southwestern looks like they're going to go down to defeat to the Flyers up in Frankfort tonight. As you see on the field here that the Maroons, family members, and fans are out there showing their support here from Pulaski High School on what was a beautiful, crisp fall October evening as the start of the game with the sun shining, no wind, no rain. The temperature has dropped, and it's a little cool right now.
Well, sure, if you're dressed like you are. I went and found a coat. All right, here we go on the game unofficially. Pulaski 13 first downs, 16 rushes for 119 yards and a couple touchdowns, both of those by Case and Brock. 12 of 19 through the air, a combination of Anderson and Adams during the game, 258 yards. Pulaski penalized 9 times for 90 yards. They got off 28 offensive snaps, 377 yards of total offense. One fumble, they did recover it. No turnovers on the game. South Laurel 27 rushes for 99 yards on the game and 1 touchdown through the air. Let's see, they were 9 of 22 for 126 yards. Once again, penalties 3 for 30, no turnovers on the game. But all in all, Pulaski got out to a 14-point lead. North had one chance, in my opinion, right before. I'll give you some individuals in just a second, but my recap of what happened is they had one opportunity at the end of the first half to make a football game out of this. They did not manage to score, and to add salt, Pulaski went ahead and took it the distance before halftime, and this thing went to a running clock and never in doubt in the second half. Leading rusher for North Laurel, Nance, 14 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. The leading receiver, Kelly, with 3 catches for 71 yards. For Pulaski County, Case and Brock, leading rusher on the game, 7 carries, 65 yards, and a couple touchdowns. Adams had 2 carries for 33. Through the air, Godby had a catch for 39 and a touchdown. Finley had a catch for 46 and a touchdown. Denmeyer, 6 catches for $157 and 2 touchdowns. So that's pretty much the individual story that we have. Chris, I don't know if you've got your players of the game or anything you want to say about the stats, but Pulaski County, 4-3, big win, and as things go, I see they're giving a player of the game to someone that looks like Denmeyer, and he's got a belt that would make the WWE proud on our camera. So I didn't know it was a wrestling match. I thought it was a football game. But Chris, you
yes,
good?
Sir. I'm good.
All right, do something.
Well, I'm real close.
You thinking?
So, offensive player of the game,
Denmeyer.
It's going to be hard not to go with Harris Denmeyer. Had a big night, had some big catches. It was good to see him corral some of those and get in the end zone. So Harris Denmeyer will be our Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game. United Cumberland Bank Defensive Player of the Game. It's hard not to go with Broderick Finley, that was in on a whole lot of different things. He had a big sack early in the game. And so our United Cumberland Bank Defensive Player of the Game will go to Broderick Finley.
He's a disruptor.
That's a very good description.
And that's a positive comment.
Him. Yeah, you're exactly right. And then my promo lawn service lineman of the game, I'm going to go to his counterpart on the other end of the defensive line, and I'm going to go with Colton Kane.
Okay.
Both those young men have been disruptive, as you said, disruptor 1.0 and 2.0. So Colton Kane, our promo lawn service lineman of the game here from Pulaski High School, Final here is 42-14 as you see Harris Denmeyer out there with the championship belt being interviewed by the
I wish I had control of the camera. I got a better one for you.
Okay.
I see Coach Burns and his wife and his little girl about 5 yards offset from them, and they're down here, and his daughter is celebrating because Daddy's happy about something. She don't have a clue
right, but she's
what's
just
going
happy
on,
that
but
he's
Daddy's
happy.
happy and she's happy. That's kind of what this is all about. Pulaski, a good win. Just write it down. This was a game that they, on paper, should have won,
right,
and they did.
And so next week they will take on the Harlan Black Bears here at Pulaski High School. We'll be here again, be on the air at about 7 o'clock local time, and be ready to bring you game action at 7:30. So for Matt Lloyd, for Pat Harris, for Kevin Lloyd, appreciate all them bringing the action, and for my partner Mike Kerr, I'm Chris Staten. Everyone have a safe